All right, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the hell it is. It's great to be back on Polymath Particles. I guess it's 11 a.m. on a Thursday. I'm losing track of time. There's a Grateful Dead song where the opening lyric goes, feels like I've been here before. And, dude, I feel like we just signed off 10 minutes ago, Tony, and we're back. We had a great night flight last night. Thanks for stopping by. If you were in the crew, I want to say early what's up to John Joseph, James, Mitch Cumstein. We don't need no stinking badges. Don Peralta, Lily Merchant, and on it goes. By the way, Mitch Cumstein checking in today going, guys, I just checked out Finnerty's in New York City. Great giant bar right near the Empire State Building. Not a boy, Mitch. That is the place to hang if you're going into New York City. Hey, Humboldt Fats, great to see you, brother. Hope everything's going well up in the beautiful wilderness of Humboldt County, one of my favorite homes away from homes. Ray Goodman, heard you missed us. We're back. All right. Hey, Creative Tony, we got a lot to get to today. As always, we're going to be joined by the sports editor of the San Francisco Gate. That's my buddy Alex Simon. We'll talk Golden State Warriors, all things going on in the Golden State Warrior universe with him in about a half an hour. And Tony, before we get into our sponsors today and get the show started, just want to say good morning, y'all. And now, by the way, is that like a Grateful Dead lightning bolt on your hat? What are you rocking hat-wise today? What is that?
This is actually underrated. One of my favorite hats. It's a lightning bolt, but it's not Grateful Dead, but it does remind me of Grateful Dead. It's my daughter Olivia's softball team's hat. The Lightning Bolts was the name of their team. And shout out John Joseph, the coach at the time, made these hats. And I'm like, dude.
Time out. Time the blank out. Time effing out. Are you telling me John Joseph, our beloved? No. Did you just say John Joseph? You just said John Joseph. I didn't know you guys had coaching experience together. You got to fill a brother in. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, dude. John Joseph. I've known him for years. He did a great job coaching my daughter. No, I messed up. John Joyce is the name of Olivia's coach. John Joseph is basically one of the coaches of the universe, I'd rather say. So
any relation to James Joyce, Tony?
Possibly.
Why not?
Very good.
Yeah.
And Paulie, while we're at it.
Yeah.
There we go.
What's that for? What's the explosion for?
Just because we exploded last night, and I just wanted to do it again.
I love the explosion. I want to sprinkle them throughout today's show, Tony, as often as possible. I'm all on board. Hey, Humboldt Fats, hold on. Let's get this out. Let's get this out on the air. Excuse me. Yeah. And I want to get right into the sponsors. Humboldt Fats, he goes, guys, I'm a little hungover. I'm a little mucked up. And it's his 64th birthday yesterday. He's hanging in, and life is good. Hey, happy birthday. That is our founding father on Roby Tuesday. He was the first guy to send a picture in with his robe, just chilling up at his place. So happy birthday, Humboldt. It's great to have you on board, man. We love you, and I hope you had a good day yesterday. Ian Weiland, what's up? Los D, what's up? Robot Centaur, Rags, all of y'all. Creative Tony, before any other housekeeping items before we start talking Los?
I just want to also just wish Humboldt Fats a happy Hacksaw Reynolds birthday, because you said it was his 64th birthday, correct?
Yeah.
So, and also today is our 79th show. So this is our Harris Barton show. I just want to give that some love as well.
Yeah.
And any other 79 you can think of before we get into the nuts and bolts of the show?
It's funny you asked that question. You know, in my mind, there really is only one, and it's HB. It's Harris Barton. It's a guy with 3 Super Bowl rings. He got himself a trio of rings back in the day. Back in the day when the Niners used to go to Super Bowls and win them. You know what I mean? Back in that era. Now we like to go and kind of come home empty-handed. How about this, Tony? Well, I don't even want to I didn't know we were going to get into this today, but I haven't made peace internally, spiritually, with the fact that the Niners have gone to 3 Super Bowls in the post-Steve Young Montana era, and we've lost all 3. Just throwing it out there.
Come on.
Still eats me alive. I hate it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you know who's probably down with Hacksaw, knowing that he spent some time in his youth at the Canyon Inn, is our guest today, Alex Simon of the SF Gate. I guarantee you, he probably, I wonder if he's eaten the Hacksaw burger. We're going to have to ask Alex that at the bottom of the hour when he comes on.
I've eaten a Hacksaw burger. In fact, when Tony took me to what I, again, like to call the Disneyland of 49er fans, the first thing I ever ordered at the Canyon Inn was a Hacksaw burger. I said, if there's a Hacksaw burger, I'm eating that damn thing. Get it on the grill, and then bring it out to me. And by the way, it's a hell of a burger. It's a nice burger. It really is.
Dude, it's a sizable burger, man.
By the way, don't tell anybody this. Don't even. This is just between us here. Whoever's on board today. I was telling Los D. Was it yesterday or a couple days ago? I was talking to Los on the phone. Carlos from Plex Funding. We're going to talk about his business in a second. And I go, hey, Carlos, I think I might have found a place. Because I'm trying, just to tell the audience, Tony, I want to go full transparency on this. And I want to tell everybody, actually, hold on, maybe I should do it in a little more official way. Hold on, let me make this. Okay. I want to go full transparency on this when I talk about Low Steve. No, I'm just kidding. I want to get my megaphone going. Tony,
Principal Polly.
What's that, Tony? What?
An early visit from Principal Polly.
I know. Creative Tony, please report to the principal's office. You're late again. Okay, hold on. All right. Anyway, so I was telling Los D that we want to get some events happening where we can all kind of hang out the way we did at Longbridge for the watch party, but we don't have to have like, some like a reason. I don't even need a reason. I'm just looking to get together with Los and a few of our listeners so we can all hang out, have a couple beers, have a lunch, stuff like that. And I started thinking, I told Los this the other day. I go, Los, I think our destination might be the Canyon Inn.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, because they do have that private room in the back. And Los was like, do they have a private room? And I'm like, they do. They have a private room that's like all decked out in Niner stuff. So anyway, we're working on this. Like Creative Tony said famously a couple of weeks ago, he goes, guys, we're a two-man operation over here. You know what I mean? And that's in my head every day because we have so much on our plates right now and everything we're doing, it takes a lot of time. So we have Metallica tickets coming. We're going to do that this month. Welcome to the month of May. This will be our big Metallica ticket giveaway month, maybe a couple in June as well, but that's coming down the pike. And then also we're trying to arrange more events, but all this stuff takes time because Tony and I, like, we're doing the show. We're trying to sell the show. We're going to meetings. We're doing all the social media. Tony's doing edits out his ears. So like it takes time, but we're working on that. And I told Los that I think Canyon Inn might be the spot for us to all hang out. I know he'd love it down there. What do you got?
No question. You mentioned time, Polly. That's all.
I don't know if we'll have enough time.
No, don't have enough time. All right, Tony. Now, a couple of words about the aforementioned Carlos De La Fuente from Flex Funding. He is the master of all things financial services, financial assistance. Whether we're talking about private money loans, whether we're talking about, you talk about mortgage brokers. This guy's right up there at the top of the list. When it comes to finances, mortgages, loans, we're talking about your money, and you have to entrust the right people to guide you and handle and make suggestions when it comes to your money. And that's really why I am here on his behalf, because he is a stand-up guy. Carlos, I think some of you have had the chance to meet him and hang out with him. And that's, again, we're going to try to arrange more opportunities like that, where we can just have like casual conversations about everything. You don't have to talk business with Low Steve, but he's well equipped and well informed. If you do need some assistance financially, pick up that phone and give him a shout. 925-250-4894. One thing I want to stress about Carlos is he's extremely easy to talk to. There's no kind of pretense. There's no posturing going on. He's a really easy guy to talk to. He understands when it comes to mortgages and loans and HELOC loans. This is serious stuff, man. It's your money we're talking about here. And this is probably the greatest kind of plug I could give Carlos, is that he's such an honest guy and he's got so much integrity that if you guys are having a conversation with him and he looks at the numbers and he thinks it's like not the right time for you to like go down a road with a HELOC loan or whatever the case, he will tell you that. Like he'll turn to business. He'll say like, dude, we're going to pause this for a little while because the time is not right for you. This is going to wind up hurting you. That in itself is beyond value. So Carlos at Flex Funding is the guy to handle all of your financial questions. And he can get you into a better financial place once he goes to work for you. Carlos at myflexnow.com. Shoot him an email too, Tony.
Last thing I want to say on Carlos, because first of all, we love Carlos, but also the word I want to choose for today with Los is pressure and the lack thereof with Carlos. Because, dude, I've already been to the city and back because I'm dealing with car stuff. And I dropped my one vehicle off at a dealer. By the way, the dealer, if you're going back to the dealer, it's not a good sign.
Shout out to the dealer milking you for every cent. Hey, just bring it on in. Just bring it on in. They're going to find about 170 things wrong with it. Oh, well, you got a problem here with the dashboard. You got a problem with the floor mats. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna find shit. Yeah,
you're nailing it on the head, dude. I was under pressure from these under pressure.
Totally. Or ZZ Top. You got me, Tony. ZZ Top. You got me under pressure. Either one,
dude. Seriously, Paulie. And I was like, they were pressuring me into do this. You want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to replace your key for $400? I said, no, dude.
What's going on with your keys? I know, bro. You lose a key now, it'll set you back like a month. I had the same experience because I couldn't find my spare key when I had to go turn my last car in because I did this lease thing, and I was like, "Here's my old car." And they're like, "Well, where's the spare key?" I'm like, "I don't know where the effing spare key is. It was like 5 years ago. And the guy's like, well, it's going to cost you about $570 if you can't replace it. I'm like, what? Whoa. It's a key. We're talking about a key. What are we doing here? Is this key diamond encrusted? Was it dipped in solid gold? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell kind of key are we talking about here, man?
Hey, dude, I will bring this back to Los D because the whole
I know. Sorry, Los.
No, but I'll bring this back because the guy was like, yeah, it'll be $100 for the actual key and then another $270 to program the key. And I go, dude,
program the key.
How about you guard this key with your friggin' life while I hand it over to you? And then we'll talk as I pick this car back up. Anyways, my point being, I had a 20-minute under pressure conversation that I loathed. My point is when you talk to Los, there's zero pressure. There's none of that crap.
No.
It's a comfortable, friendly conversation where he wants you to win. He wants to win. Everybody wins. So again, Carlos at myflexnow.com, 925-250-4894 or 925-250 Pablo Sandoval, Charles Haley. Okay.
Hey, Tony, and thank you, Carlos. We love you so much, buddy. We'll see you soon. Hey, check this out, too. I was thinking, Tony, after you... Oh, and Lily Merchant is a super. Can you put Lily up so we can say hi and thank you?
Paul. Keep your
I saw her go flying by. I know. Okay.
Lily's a very patient woman. I know Lily.
No, Lily rules, dude. I'm telling you, Lily's vibe at Long Beach. Here she comes right here. Lily, thank you, Pauline, Tony, for keeping. Oh, of course. That's why we're here. That's my job in the universe is to transmit the particles and to alert all of y'all when I see them coming. By the way, I think we might have some particles hovering over Chase Center tomorrow night. I can already feel it. I think Steph is going to be so pissed off. I think all our guys are going to be pissed off. I really do.
On that note, when we got some bookmarks to share, basically Dylan Brooks post game. I want to just put this thing on freaking loop inside the Chase Center locker room because of what he said post game. Yeah. And you got his partner in crime, Shingun, looking like he's color me bad on. Did you see him post game?
I saw the whole thing, dude. I saw two.
We'll show him bookmarks. But I wanted to know if you wanted to get to Dr. Young as well. If you wanted to talk about Dr. Young before we get into the nuts and bolts, and then Alex Simon at the bottom of the hour from SFK. I'm pumped to talk to Alex because I've actually never met Alex. I know you've met Alex. I never met Alex. I'm excited to meet him.
Great guy.
Paul, we can go right into Dr. Young because we've got another sponsor on the show, and we're so stoked to have Dr. Young become a part of the family, Paulie.
No question. Dr. Matt Young, we're so proud and happy to have you on board with the Polymac Particle Show. Mm-hmm. We really are. And I've had a relationship with Dr. Matt Young for well over a decade. And again, I was turned on to Dr. Matt Young by one of our old coworkers at KMBR, Natalie, who is one of the sweetest people in the world. And I told Natalie one day, I think we were in the kitchen at KMBR, like during a commercial break, I would run in there, grab coffee and stuff. And I'm like, hey, Natalie, how you doing? And she's like, yeah, good. I'm going to the dentist today. I was like, you know what? I need a new dentist. I got to find a new one. And then she was like, well, you should try my guy, Dr. Matt Young. He's in Union Square. He's on Post Street, and he's awesome. And I was like, you know what? Coming from Natalie, I trust Natalie. So she endorsed him, and I said, okay, I'm going to go give this guy a try. Here I am over a decade later, still going back, and now we're working together, and it makes me really, really happy because this guy is a friend of mine as well. The Young Dental Group is incredibly well respected. They have a great staff in place. So as soon as you walk in the door, they put you at ease. And I got to tell you, Dr. Matt Young, he's been in business for over 25 years. He's a great San Francisco guy too. He's a city guy, pardon me, he's a real baseball fan too. He loves the Giants. His son's been a little league stud for years, going to SI next year, play some baseball like Creative Tony. Tony, you'll be watching him. You'll be watching Joe Young out there, going for your Wildcats. In the meantime, what he does offer you, the services include comprehensive dental care, cleanings, fillings, implants, veneers, orthodontics, emergency care. And again, for a guy like me to be relaxed at the dentist is probably the greatest endorsement I could give him because I was uptight. I mean, we've all seen Marathon, man. You know what I mean? I'll just leave it there. I'll just leave it at that. So I used to be very uptight about going to the dentist, and I know I'm not alone. There are a lot of people that get kind of phobic when it comes to sitting in that chair with the lights. But Dr. Young, dude, again, it has a lot to do with his personality. He's just so disarming, and he's so relaxed that you can't help but relax. And then that last step that he takes is the big one for me, which is, Paulie Mac, what do you want to listen to today? And I'd be like, I don't know. What do you got? You got any Grateful Dead? Done. Here he comes with the headphones. Well, another time I was like, you got any Jagger? You got any Richards? I could use some Stones. Done. Here it comes with the headphones. So it's a great experience. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. If you are in need or you're looking for a new dentist, this is your guy. Call Dr. Matt Young and his associates at 415-392-8611. They're open weekdays, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. They even work on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tony, get on down there and enjoy the brilliance of Dr. Matt Young. Man, he's taking care of my teeth forever, and he can definitely do the same thing for you, T.
3 things on Dr. Matt Young. By the way, first of all, it's vibe. Okay, we talked about vibe. We're all about the vibes on this show. That's why we partnered up with Neil at Longbridge Pizza, the Vibe Tribe. That's why we partnered up with Los D and his tremendously loving and friendly vibe. And now we got Dr. Young creating the vibes that you need if you want to get some dental work done, which is not, I mean, we'll just be honest, it's not the greatest experience ever. He makes it an experience that you don't.
Does. No, he really does. Yeah.
And also, I also want to say, you want something that's clutch? Is they're open on Saturdays, dude. You know how crazy everybody's weekdays are? They're open on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 4 p. So check it out. 415-392. Let me see. What are we gonna do? John Frank, Alex Smith. Was that what we're gonna do?
Totally, absolutely. Or Tony, can I go gangster? Can I go like Super Bowl 16, first 49er Super Bowl team? Can I drop a Can I drop a Charlie Young on you?
Charlie Young all damn day.
Young. Yeah.
Charlie Young all damn day. And by the way, thank you, Matt Young. Seriously, Dr. Young. And info, if you want to email him, info@youngdentalsf.com. And Paulie, I see my buddy Mark Wiseman on the comment line. He's just trying to he's dangling bait.
Yeah.
He's talking trash. He said SI is a bunch of cherries. And he says, go Sarah. We're talking high school. Now we're talking WTL high school.
Right.
I can't ignore it. So I just got to say, hello, Mark. And I got to say, well, I can't even say what we used to say.
Just clean it up a little. No. Give me a PG version. I don't know where you're going, but I do want you to say it. I want you to address this thing. I love when Tony gets up against his SI stuff. Give it to me.
Well, because Sarah used to kick our butts in a lot of sports, but then we would always say in our cheering section, "It's all right, it's okay. You will work for us someday." That's one of the mild cheers that we used to do. So
I understand.
It was known as the high school that was all sports related and didn't really focus on the academics. I can't say that now because our dear friend Mike Fideli is the president of Sarah High School. So, go Mike. I don't think I'll Yeah, I'm gonna say go Mike. I won't say go Padres, but I'll say go Mike.
And I should tell the out of town folks, like your James Morikawa's over in Japan, your the Arkansas chapter of the PMP Army, or guys like Rags in New Jersey. Rags, let me just tell you, because Rags is a big sports fan too. I got to tell you, Rags, Sarah High School, the one Tony's talking about, the high school of his, pardon me, the rival. So sorry. This is what happens when you do 9 hours in less than 12 hours. We've been on the air so much. Sarah High School, Rags, is the home of Barry Bonds and Tom Brady. Any other notables, Tony, out of Sarah? There probably are, right? There's
Greg Jeffries was the guy, Lynn Swan, but let's not forget the great Dan Fouts from SI. He was an SI quarterback. Let's not forget Jeff Glosser, who was also the Wolf in Teen Wolf. He was the basketball player inside the Wolf costume.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So there's SIs, and SI has come a long way. So I know we didn't plan to talk high school sports today, but when Mark dangles the bait, I got to address it. And I've got nieces and upcoming nephews that are going to be Wildcats. So I got
all good, baby. No, I love it. I'll tell you what. I actually enjoy talking about high school sports a lot. I really do. I enjoyed going through that as a parent with my kid when he was playing ball at De La Salle. It's just a great. You know what I mean? It's like the last stop on your way to adulthood where the sports are still pure. It's still just pure, and it's about the sport. The kids are impressionable and young, and they're working hard. Even in college, stuff starts getting a little bit tainted, and then by the time you get to if you get to the pros, it's a whole different kind of reality. So yeah, no, dude, I love talking high school sports. Always welcome.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Don Peralta, thank you for the reminder. Bakhtiari, the lineman for the Packers, went to SI.
Oh, also, damn, nice.
I love seeing Chip Lang's love for the Pally High School with Jim Harbaugh. What's his name? Devontae Adams, Jock Peterson.
Where did Gogan go? I know he was a local guy too.
He went to Sacred Heart in the city with Los. He went there with Los. Los played football against him. He went there with Los D. So,
dude, could you imagine being a high school kid and then trotting out on the field and by the way, you're up against that guy today, and you look over and there's Kevin Gogan. Dude, Kevin Gogan is a very intimidating human being. He's a mountain of a man, and I think he's he's sweetened a little bit now that he's.
Yeah, sorry. Also, Igor. Sorry to cut you off, play. I apologize. Igor Olshansky is another kid that went to SI. So there is representation in the bigs. We need more baseball representation. That would be nice because their baseball programs on the rise as well. So
here's what we're gonna do, Tony. Since we only have 10 minutes before Alex Simon joins us, instead of bookmarks, let's do bookmarks after Alex Simon because we're only gonna talk to Al. Yeah, because we only got 10 minutes and Like I see Mitch, he's going, guys, we're going to talk Warriors or what today? So yeah, why don't we talk Dubs for a couple of minutes and we'll continue that with Alex. And when that ends, because and the reason I want to do bookmarks, and I feel like I'm going to demand it today. I'm going to drive the lane on bookmarks because I have so much stuff in there, so much content. I've been dying to show the audience for several days now. So I want to get that. I want to get that out there today. Tony, go.
On that note, can we just tease bookmarks with one thing from bookmarks that will set us into Warriors territory? And by the way, Sons of Giant Lemaster, I see you.
Where
he's flying out tomorrow to New Orleans for Pearl Jam at Jazz Fest. Sons, you have our email address. Can you please just send a picture? Just take a picture with your phone and send it to us so we can live vicariously. Please.
He's going to send a video. He's going to send a video. He's going to be like, oh, I want to say I love being at the Jazz Fest in New Orleans, everybody. Oh, this one's called Elderly Woman, y'all. But I threw a y'all in there this time, too. Anyway, that's my Eddie Vedder at Jazz Fest. Tony, go ahead.
I actually have Vedder on the soundboard. If you don't mind, Paulie, indulge me. Here we go.
Yeah, it's nice to see happy people.
I'm saying, yeah. It's nice to see happy people. Yeah. It's nice to see the Polymac Particle people. All right, anyway, Tony, that's Eddie Vedder's in the house. Okay, where is Tony's head? The day after, the smoke is cleared. We took our beating last night. We got physical with our backup squad. Are you rested? Are you ready? Are you confident for Game 6 tomorrow at Chase Center? Tony, go. I'm doing like a mental health check on you right now.
My mental health check is bad because I fell out of my bed last night and during an intense dream that I don't even remember.
Stop. What do you mean you fell out of your bed? What do you mean? What are you talking
about? I literally woke up on the floor after a loud crashing feeling, like I fell out of my bed. And I woke up on the floor just like, oh, God.
Okay, this is beautiful now.
The back of my head, and Megan, my wife, was like, what? Like it woke her up.
Of course. You've fallen out of bed. Yeah.
So it was, I don't remember the dream at all, but I know that it was a very intense dream because I woke up very discombobulated. Anyway,
was it a dream about the Warriors winning Game 6? Hopefully, maybe you were like celebrating in your sleep. You know what I mean?
What it was a dream about these two clowns. I'm gonna share this. Okay, it was a dream about these two clowns because look, you
were intentionally trying to swipe down it.
Okay, are you ready? Look at Color Me Bad. Look at Color Me Bad. Okay, I want to sex you up, and then you got.
I want to sex you up. Yeah, there he is.
You don't stop here, Paulie. Listen to this, and this is going to send us into the rest of the show, and then we'll revisit this after Alex Simon. But here, just stand by. Here we go.
Yeah, man.
Dylan, one of the Warriors broadcasters tonight said he thought you were intentionally trying to swipe down on Curry's thumb, and Kerr was asked about it and said it happens around the league. It's allowed by the rules, so players throughout the league do that. What do you think about that?
No, I've been playing the game. Shoot. If you're gonna come play the game injured or whenever you got, it's all about the game. You know, if I had an injured ankle, I would attack that ankle every single time.
Dude, I'm disgusted by this guy now.
I'm more just, I tell you the truth right now. Dylan Brooks is such a jackass. Like what he says and does doesn't even faze me. I'm more concerned with this other clown over here, this Şengün guy. And by the way, somebody just said, I didn't see it scroll by really quickly, but somebody just dropped. Who is that? Zoolander sitting over there, dude? Great call. Zoolander. I got a little Color Me Bad. You know what else I see shades of here? And Şengün. I got Holmes. You ain't cool. Okay, kid, you ain't cool with your double-breasted, the T with the get the F out of here.
It reminds me of Andy Samberg when he does that, when they do the Dick in the Box video, right?
That was the next, Tony, I swear to God, that was the next thing out of my mouth. I was just about to say total D in a box. Complete D in a box. And
he's just a dick. He's not a dick in a box. He's just a dick. But watch this, Paulie. Watch when the reporter mentions Dylan Brooks. Watch the smug smirk on Şengün's face right here. Watch this. Watch the smirk. Here we go.
Swipe down on Curry's thumb.
You see that? Look at that.
Kerr was asked about it.
Hey, tough guy. Hey, tough guy.
He's smiling as the reporter's talking about Brooks swiping at Curry's thumb. This guy goes from a serious face to here, one more time, because this is pissing me off.
Broadcaster tonight said he thought you were intentionally trying to swipe down on Curry's thumb, and Kerr was asked about it and said it happens around the league, that it's allowed by the rules, so the players throughout the
injured ankle. I would all about the game. You know, if I had an injured ankle, I would attack that ankle every single time.
Oh,
By the way, I got all kinds of comments now. I like shout out to Dylan Brooks's like pacifist voice. I had an injured ankle, and
totally.
it's like, dude, cut the crap. And then over here with this guy, dude, Shangoon is the guy who's really rubbing me the wrong way right now. This guy's a BS punk, if I may, Tony, a BS punk. And let me fortify that. Let me back that up. Here's why. He's a big dude, man. This is a big guy. And what are you? You're going to go pick on Pat Spencer? You're going to go throw an elbow at Pat Spencer, who's about a foot shorter than you and maybe 80 pounds lighter? Oh, Mr. Tough Guy, bro. You want to be a tough guy? Go pick on someone your own size. Because when I saw Trace Jackson Davis come over, you didn't want that smoke. Color me bad. You don't want that. You didn't want to be dealing with like a guy your own size. So that really pissed me off, dude. In fact, if I could show my hand real quick, I want to say something, Tony, because there's been so much bad blood in this series. I started thinking about tomorrow being Friday, and we got to do our musical assignment. There's so much bad blood in this series. How do you feel about this, just as a concept?
How about songs about blood?
Tell me more. Tell me more. No, I'm listening.
About blood. Like, we're talking about bad blood. Let's talk. Like, Pearl Jam has a song called "Blood." I mean, look, you can go songs about bad blood, about anger, about I don't know. Emotions. I'm just thinking about ways we can kind of encapsulate this. Well, take these two clowns and honor them with our musical assignment tomorrow.
Would the judges accept a song by Ice-T called "Colors"? Because in that song, some of the lyrics, he goes, "Red or blue, cause of blood, it just don't matter. Sucker die for your life, but my shotgun scatter colors. Boom, 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 boom." Anyway, red or blue, cause of blood, it just don't matter. Shout out Ice-T for life, dude. I'm an Ice-T fan. All right, listen.
Here we go. Ollie, here we go. So hold on real quick. Ian Weiland, Raining Blood, Robot Centaur, Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Okay, stop. Don't give them all away. Don't give them all away. You guys email those in. I think we'll go with that. So Tony, and I'm going to kind of attach anything having to do with like anger, anything that having to do with like I don't know, bad, just bad blood. Like Tony said, blood, anger, songs of anger. Okay. Songs of anger, songs of bad blood. Send them on in and we'll dive into that tomorrow on the musical assignment. Songs of bad blood. I love this.
Hey, Paulie.
Yeah.
Alex Simon, I'd see him. He's in the green room. He's actually enjoying all of the treats that we left for him. He's actually getting toweled off as we speak. And he's actually being fanned with palm leaves. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to bring Alex in. I see him in the green room. So let me know when you're ready for Alex to jump on, and I'll throw him onto the program. And then I can get these two clowns off of our screen because, again, you said it. Shangoon going after a second unit bench player who hasn't stepped on the floor all series, and he's going to go front him and shove him and elbow him, who is a foot shorter. Yeah, you are some kind of a tough guy, Shangoon. Dude, the Warriors are going to come out. Draymond is going to come out possessed tomorrow night, dude.
I agree.
Wait. I cannot wait for the response. And like we talked about last night, the fact that the second unit of the Dubs forced Ime, another fake tough guy, to bring back his starters, and that also took the joy out of the arena. Mission accomplished. Okay, they didn't win the game, but if they could accomplish the mission of taking the joy out of the crowd and also getting the starters back in the game, I loved both of those, dude. And I cannot wait for the 6 p.m. tip-off tomorrow night. 6 p.m. tip-off. Raymond Ritter was on point last night. He was on Twitter reminding everybody 6 p.m. tip. And if you're going to the game, get there early and wear your freaking shirt, man.
Yes.
Wear your freaking shirt. I bet you Alex has an opinion on that. Sorry.
All right. You know what? On that note, let's bring him in. This is our great friend, Alex Simon with the SF Gate. He's a sports editor over at SF Gate, and he's been covering this series. He's a great sports writer and a great guy. So let's welcome him for the first time to Paulie Max Particles. There's my guy. Look at that face. Yeah. All right. Alex Simon, welcome aboard, man. Great to see you. Great to have you on the show today. And how are you on this fine Thursday morning?
I mean, guys, I am just down the street from Canyon here. Like, what are we doing here? I'm gonna be I'm a Redwood City guy through and through, Tony. Grew up literally like just down the hill from Canyon Inn. So you guys are making me think, I guess my next move is a hacksaw burger for lunch here or something.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh no, Alex, if you haven't tried one yet, I heartily recommend it. That was
not tried it is not the answer there. I have had many of them over the years. Actually, Julian Edelman, Redwood City guy, he has a sneaky good burger at Canyon Inn too, by the way, if you guys haven't tried his burger.
Okay. Good knowledge. Good knowledge.
Alex, next time you're gonna sit next to me in my home studio. I'm gonna come pick you up.
Really.
You know what? I'm gonna send the Polymac Particles town car, the Lincoln town car, to pick you
There
up.
we go.
Of course.
And then it'll bring you over here. And then once you get finished with the buffet that I'll put out for you, then I'll have you join my home studio. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great, and especially anybody that has a little dislike of Sarah as a St. Francis guy myself in the WCA.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Hey, check this out, Alex. Check this out. I want to shout out St. Francis, man, because when my son James was playing sports over at De La Salle, he played, and this was his freshman year. He played freshman basketball and freshman football. And check this out. The only game the De La Salle freshman team lost was to St. Francis. That was it. That was their one loss. So you guys know how to ball, dude. I don't hear enough people shouting out St. Francis. So glad to know you're a St. Francis guy.
I believe they ended the 30-year run that De La Salle had in NorCal a few years ago. But anyway.
You know what I mean? No, listen, that's something to puff your chest out about, man. No question about it. So, Alex, listen, I want to talk about this Warrior series, obviously, but you wrote about something interesting a couple of days ago. It was after Game 4. And you said something to the effect of, I don't think anybody realized this, but the game clock wasn't working at the beginning of the game. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think you're the only guy that caught that. I didn't even notice that watching the game.
I mean, at the start of Game 4, the shot clock didn't start for like the first 80 seconds of the game, I think is what it ended up being in that regard. And it just, for me, I was set up to kind of do our coverage of the game, which I do from home. And I'm watching, and I just see in the corner of one of the screens that I have on, hold on a second, the shot clock hasn't moved, and nobody noticed it. I mean,
wow.
You can literally see in the highlights from the, Draymond hits 2 3-pointers. On the first one, it's on 24 the whole time. The second one, it's still on 24, but it's right after they inbounded the ball that the shot clock then finally started. And I don't know if that was like a user error or a technical glitch or what, but like the refs didn't notice, the players didn't notice. They kind of get away with it, but it then, was the start of what became just a true, just nightmarish game for the refs. I feel like, where nobody was happy with how Game 4 was officiated and all of the ways in which, technicals and flagrants and challenges were held.
Yeah.
And it really was portending a bad night to come on the refereeing side.
Alex, you mentioned you used the words "getting away with," and I feel like that's kind of a subplot to this whole series. Rockets are getting away with as much as they possibly can. No surprise there. I mean, we knew that coming in. But do you think it's got, because Steve Kerr had to talk about this in the postgame last night, guys, Dylan Brooks specifically kind of taking swats at Steph's shooting hand after he releases the ball, how the league doesn't call that as a foul. Seeing as how the Rockets kind of, they made a statement last night, although I think in the second half, the Warrior second team kind of made a statement in return. But the question I want to go to, Alex, is do you feel like, what do you expect atmosphere-wise tomorrow in terms of the intensity, in terms of what Houston does? I mean, can they ratchet it up anymore, or do you think we've seen as much kind of, the hijinks and dirty play as we can see from them to this point?
I think there's a visceral difference between kind of being sneaky and kind of shy about these moments, in the sense of, we are doing the high five contest. Obviously it became a really dominant part of the discussion after last night's game.
Yeah.
The Warriors broadcasters were making the accusations they made against Brooks. For Brooks, though, to outright kind of admit it as tacitly as he did is going to make it harder for, I think, the referees to ignore it, to be honest. And I think it's the bigger thing is the high five contest is, and this is kind of what Steve Kerr's point was, it's technically allowed in the current rules. That's going to change next year. But I think it also makes it harder for referees to just ignore the narrative and what's going on. You can't be siloed and in a box as a ref, that you're going to know that these guys are admitting that, to some extent, they are trying to hunt Steph to hurt him in that way. Yep. We know that they've played a level of defense that is so physical and so overwhelming, and they're just basically saying, if we foul him every time, you're not going to whistle it every time. But I think last game, they very clearly last night did try to assert their opinion as referees into the beginning of the game and keep control of the physicality. For the most part, I think they actually did a good job. The game state dictated way more, though, than the referees did. And the Warriors falling behind by as much as they did was more of an impact. If this is a closer game, who knows what it's going to look like? I mean, it's going to look like an alley fight at some point or another here, like within the paint, especially.
Alex, did you happen to see last night NBA, the Inside NBA with Shaq and Charles and Kenny and Ernie? They showed a picture of Steph's thumb. I don't know if you guys have seen this photo, but they compared it to Shaq's foot because it's so swollen and like bulbous. And I'm just wondering, have you heard anything about the actual condition of his thumb other than that it's hurt?
No, nobody has, and I think it's in part because Steph isn't telling anybody. I don't think Steph, he gets none of the rep that he should for being one of the toughest dudes in the NBA because of how little he actually allows the injuries that he's dealing with to be a part of the narrative. Obviously, who knows what his rear is like, given that he landed on it funny and is still playing with that custom butt pad or whatever is going on with that, let alone his knee, which is just, he's 37, he's old, things are going to happen. The thumb, though, the funny part is like Steph quipped, I think that, you got the feds on me when he was asked about it.
Yeah.
But the photo that people were using was one the Warriors took themselves. The team takes photos of the players getting on the plane or arriving at the arena. And I know it was my friend Sheed over at Warriors World who kind of had the tweet that had to go crazy by just blowing up the thumb, being like, dude, what is that? We haven't seen Steph really kind of show that thumb in any discernible way for people to see it. I think he's even wearing a wrap when he arrives at the arena. But it looks insane. Like it does look like he's got an extra, growth growing out of it or whatever based off that photo. It's a hard photo to really look at and see. We'll probably find out, like the hockey players do at the end of this run, whenever that is, just how bad the thumb really is. But it clearly, he's scored 36 with this already once, so it's not like it matters to him. And
that's right. Yeah. Once he heats up, I agree. Like the thumb becomes a non-factor. And I'm expecting Steph to have a big night tomorrow night because he's had two kind of subpar games by his standards. And on that note, Alex Simon, our guest from SF Gate, what do you think tomorrow for the Warriors to just close this thing out and finish this on their own floor? What's the biggest key strategy-wise for the Warriors and game plan-wise in your mind, Alex, for them to just wrap this up tomorrow night?
Honestly, it just feels like this is a Warriors team that knew what it was getting into last night. The idea that they almost kind of knew at the start of halftime, we're down by this much, let's just throw 5 minutes at the dartboard, see if we can't make the run ourselves, but then go away. It's still, though, I think what they've realized is they do have some subtle adjustments you still can make. Moses Moody having as good of a run as he did with the bench unit that kind of dominated the fourth quarter might actually make the Warriors consider, should we swap him back in for Buddy Hield to start and just try our rotations a little different? They need somebody other than their main guys to step up offensively. Pods was that guy in game 4. They had it in game 3 with both GP2 and Hield kind of carrying the loads together without Butler there. They stepped up aside Steph, but somebody else just needs to be enough of a threat, whether that's Draymond hitting a few threes like he did to start last game before everything went sideways. But the key to them, as always, is can you take the turnovers that you're just bound to make? The way that they play, you're going to have them, but can you just keep them controlled? Can you keep them contained? Bigger thing, can you make those turnovers into dead ball turnovers? If your throw is going to be out of bounds, how about throw it above somebody's head so it goes into the stands and you can set up on defense rather than here's the Rockets taking a steal and going down for 2 points the other way, which is what happened way too much from Amen Thompson last night.
Hey, Alex, I have a question about the replay. The going to the booth, going to what's the name of the town in New York where they go? Secaucus. Thank you.
And by the way, let me just tell you guys from experience, Secaucus, it's like a swamp marshland. There's nothing in. There's like one hotel. It's kind of near where Giant Stadium is, or MetLife, whatever it's called now. And yeah, Secaucus is maybe the least desirable place to build anything, but yet that's where they're looking at the replays. Anyway, Tony, go ahead, just throwing it out there.
I love it. But my question was to Alex is that I want to know if you could grade how you think replay is doing in this series, because I feel like they go to the replay and I feel like calls are still missed or the wrong call is made. And like they called that flagrant. Maybe I'm in the minority here. They called a flagrant on Draymond when his leg inadvertently hit Eason's head. And I go, I don't know what Draymond's supposed to do there when he's falling down. And I know it's the reputation thing, but when you have the chance to look at replay, I'm thinking, here's your chance to make the right call. And I feel like they didn't make the right call. So I want to know if you could grade replay so far, what would you give it?
Yeah, I think that specific instance was one where we're going to give Draymond a foul that doesn't automatically kick him out because we gave him one we shouldn't have last time.
Yeah,
right. The bigger issue that they had there. I certainly think there's been some questions that I would have if the NBA was willing to fully outlay all of the stuff about their officiating in this series. I would be curious how they've graded it. And the way that you typically see these things from the NBA is just who gets assigned games in the next round, or when the round is smaller and you don't need as many refs. I certainly would wonder, though, because here's the other thing, that the Warriors, for as much as we all focus in, they're the team here, we love them, there's been a lot of incidents of just physicality and questionable stuff all across these NBA playoffs.
Yes.
And it's hard to look at what's happened here and say any of it's, any worse than even them right away admitting that they probably should have called a foul at the end of that Pistons-Knicks game 4.
Oh, my God.
I think I certainly would appreciate more transparency, especially with some of the things they've done. I do find it interesting just on the whole that if they go to a challenge system, in baseball, you do have to at least have like an explanation that they send out to the media as to why they made this call change or stand or what is it. And they do that in the arena a little bit, but clearly I think a lot of us has felt it was lacking at times because of the first Draymond tech, the flagrant. There's even the play where they, said the little contact from Steph was a foul, even though it looked like he barely touched Tari Eason. That took the foul Eason had in game 4 where he just clobbered Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
So
oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
I certainly feel as if there's been a lot of questions, but the big thing would just be, my hope would be game 6. Let's just not have the refs be part of the story at all.
Thank you.
Can figure out a way to just let the players set the level, keep it balanced, keep it fair, but let the game on the court be the thing that determines things.
Unfortunately, Alex, I feel like with a guy like Dylan Brooks on the floor, I feel like that, I don't know if that's a possibility. Because I feel
you could say the same about Draymond on the other side. Let's be like, this is a bad series in that regard because Amen Thompson is bringing a level of physicality every play. Fred VanVleet against Steph, right? That's just the way that these playoff series are going. And I think across the entire NBA, there is a lot of discourse about, is this almost too much? But you know what? The one thing about Brooks saying things like what he said and doing this, who's loving that is the Warriors themselves, because it's just going to allow for a level to be set at a certain point that allows for this to get away. If you look at that last play from game 4, when Draymond guards Sengun, Gary Payton basically grabs Fred VanVleet and says, you're not going to be allowed to set this screen to help us get the switch that we want. And the refs let it go because they've been letting it go. Steven Adams, I should say, is sitting in the paint for about 6 seconds before that shot goes up. But so is Kevon Looney. So is Jimmy Butler as he comes in to swoop for the rebound. It's one of those things where as long as it feels balanced, I think everybody's okay with whatever officiating ends up being. It's when it's felt a little imbalanced. And I do think, people pick on refs more than ever now because every single moment is detailed and we see it from every angle possible. But as long as a game feels like the game is the thing dictating the outcome and not the officials, that's the thing that matters the most in the hindsight.
Yeah. A couple more questions for Alex today. It's funny. You mentioned the kind of atmosphere in these series all around the league. I mean, there's been a lot of bad blood, in most of these series, if not all of them. But I want to ask you just quickly about the incident with Giannis the other night and Halliburton's dad. I mean, that was such a bizarro moment. I've never seen anything like that. I've been watching basketball my whole life. I've never seen anything like that. And I was watching the Warrior post game last night, and Chris Mullin addressed it, who is one of the classiest human beings on the face of the earth. And Chris Mullin said in no uncertain terms, he goes, "This is unacceptable. This should never happen. Why is this guy's dad out here walking around on the floor?" Like, you'd start right there. Why is he even on the floor at all? Like, it's a war zone out there, and you can't just go wandering out on the floor and start taunting opposing players. And Mullen also sang the praises of Giannis, saying like he handled it perfectly. He's all class, and which I agree with. I mean, Giannis is a true gentleman, and his comments after the game were, I thought, really right on, spot on. But what can the league do about stuff like that? And how does stuff like that even happen, Alex? Like, that was one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I do think, this comes up sometimes, not as much, but there is a culture, especially that we've seen grow more and more, of kind of these helicopter parents that even when guys get to professional basketball, I mean, the most vocal example that we had was LeVar Ball with his
doubt.
For a while there. He's kind of faded away and just let his son's career be his son's career. To his great credit, we should offer him that, because there was a while there where he was not that. But I think that helicopter dad thing is still very real. I mean, Ja Morant's dad is visible very often around the NBA. I do wonder if there's it's a tricky thing to walk along. Even in this series, I mean, you guys have maybe not seen this, but we wrote about it. Tari Eason's mom is getting into it with Warrior fans on social media all the time right now and saying some wild stuff about Draymond and other things. It's not par for the course with the modern NBA right now for some of these guys that their parents are very involved. I don't know what you can do if you're the NBA, honestly. What you would like to have happen is the player tell their parents, look, let the spotlight be mine.
Yeah.
Take the burden of this. You get to celebrate, because you can do these in a way where you get to celebrate all the wins and have none of the problems that come with anything like what happened and what we saw earlier this week happen. But it's really tricky, because how do you say no to your parent?
Right. Well, and Alex, this goes back to the how we all need to just appreciate the Curry era, because Curry's mom and dad know how to behave at the arena, and Curry knows how to behave on the court, off the court. And I every time I see any of this crap, I just reminds me, I am so thankful for Steph Curry for setting the example. And also because the Jimmy Butler, I don't know, I should ask you this too. How did you feel about when Butler was coming aboard? When Butler was, a possibility to become the Warrior, a Warrior? How did you feel about that possibility before he came to the team?
Yeah, I certainly think, it was interesting to see. It seemed like the people who might have been most skeptical of it internally even were the guys who now are the biggest champions of it, and Steph and Steve, right?
Yeah.
I've always thought Jimmy is a very unique character who is clearly an immensely talented player and also just a bulldog personality. Yeah. I certainly wondered, is this a clash of titans that can't go well between him and Draymond in terms of locker room personality, or are they going to be like two peas in a pod? And clearly it's been the latter. I think, it's allowed everybody else to be settled. And also, this was a Warrior team that was preaching how much their depth was going to be such a factor for them, because they had so many guys who they liked. But when you get to this time of year, you don't want that many guys to be there. And I think it helped even their coaching staff just to say, we don't need as many people on this roster. Let's try the guys that we think we have now. It helped just turn a 14-player deep roster into a 10-player deep roster, which has made things much simpler and easier. Obviously, there's some intrigue and speculation that you could put in about what it's done for a guy like Kuminga. That's way down the line, I think, at this point. But it certainly has been better, I think, than even the Warriors would tell you they even dreamed of in their wildest imagination. I don't know for sure how well it's going to go against a rested, younger, and maybe hungrier Wolves team. That's going to be a very tough matchup for them. But I mean, are you really going to count out the Warriors at any point right now?
Absolutely not. No. And my final question for you, you kind of just hinted at it or brushed up against it there, Alex. My last thing for you, you're talking about the depth and about the different, bodies Kerr has to consider putting on the floor this time of year. Yesterday was such a unique situation where you've got Kerr emptied the bench in a playoff game. 3 minutes left in the fourth or third quarter. The one guy we didn't see was Kuminga. That's the one guy who did not get on the floor last night. Now, I heard a report. Tony and I did a show after the game last night, and I told Tony, I think the reason Kuminga wasn't on the floor, or the reason given, was that he was ill. He was under the weather. And I guess what I'm asking, Alex, is, with your journalism instincts, is that legit, or do you think that was just Kerr saying, dude, you're not playing tonight?
I wasn't in Houston, so I don't really want to go to, even I haven't talked to anybody about this in that regard. Gotcha. I certainly think all of our red flags were up as to particularly, I mean, I did note that Dalton Johnson of NBC Sports Bay Area said Kuminga was warming up. However, you warm up in the arena maybe to try to play through something. We saw Brandon Podziemski do that in game 2, try to play through whatever he had. Maybe the Warriors should just fly your own food in at this point. Whatever it was, I don't know, but let's just be overly precautious and maybe, just wrap it up in 6. Don't deal with Houston food again, and we'll be fine. By the way, Houston, my favorite food city in America.
Wow.
Nothing but incredible meals down there. It's such a diverse food city. They have some of the best fusion you'll ever have.
Wow.
I remember saw a Sri Lankan Mexican fusion place in Houston.
Okay.
Just incredible. But I guess that's not on the Warriors palette right now, for all we know.
Well, you know what's so funny, man? There's this is pretty well documented, but back in 1985, when the Lakers played the Celtics in the second year in a row in the NBA Finals, you know what's so funny, Alex? Pat Riley did exactly what you just said. He goes, "Screw this. We're bringing in our own water. We're not eating any of the food in Boston," because there were guys like trying to poison them with their room service orders and stuff. So they did that. The Kerr actually shipped in all their own like sealed bottled water. It's really funny, man, that those kind of measures have to be taken. But hey. Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Warriors and you've beaten the Rockets, 4 times already in the playoffs, and now you look like you're about to beat them a 5th, like maybe you should start to be that little brain in the head of like, maybe these guys really don't like us this much. I don't know. Maybe you just got to take care of game 6 and don't have to worry about it. I think that's the big takeaway for them.
I agreed, Alex. By the way, I have to talk to you about Steve Kerr on the way out. And thanks for joining us, by the way, Alex. Really appreciate it, man. You've been just dropping bombs left and right, dropping science. But Steve Kerr, I think, has done an incredible job this series with the different, like I think he played 10 players in the first quarter in game 4. Like I just have to applaud him, but also I want to think, do you think they go back to Moody in the starting lineup tomorrow, or do you think they stick with Buddy? I'm just curious because the Moody lineup was very successful. I think the record, he was like, when Moody starts, it was like 19-1 or something like that. But I'm just curious to think if you're going to see what you think. Do you think you'll see Buddy Hield back in? And then, go ahead.
Yeah. I think my guess would be that they're going to stick with the same starters, but we're going to see more Moses Moody. I think the whole reason why they flipped to Buddy in the first place was that the Rockets had clearly said we can park Sengun on Moody, and Moody just wasn't hitting shots.
Right.
There's definitely a feeling like, look, that fourth quarter, he was driving for a lot of his baskets, but he was hitting a couple of threes as well, that if he does have that confidence rebuilt from that moment, they're going to give him a shot probably even early. I don't know if he'll start the first quarter. They might stick with the same starting group because it clearly forces Houston's defense to be a little different. But I certainly feel like you could see Moody earn that playing time right back with another run with the starters. I think Moses Moody, we're going to see him. But, it's kind of one of those, as bad as yesterday went, I feel like they almost don't even care that it went that bad. And they're going to be like, we think we know what's worked. We have some subtle tweaks to make. Moses is going to be a piece of it. For sure, though, I think if they're going to win game 6.
Does Pat Spencer get any minutes tomorrow night?
That's my boy. I love Pat Spencer.
I mean, I know second unit, and I know that he hasn't played. Like, I know he would not have seen the floor if it weren't for the situation last night. But his minutes were so good, but not just his physical play, but his attitude and his demeanor and his.
He can play, man.
Right. I'm just curious. Does Kerr recognize that as like, wow, maybe we get him a couple extra minutes down when we need them? I don't know. It's probably a stretch, but what do you think?
So they've thrown him in 2 different games in this series. And game 2 was really like, we don't know what the hell to do because Butler went out. Like, let's just try different things. He looked good. The problem, I think, is the defensive side is just so lacking from Pat that you would have to have him almost – what's funny is you probably could have him replace Steph and it would go decent if he's in there with Butler, with Odds, with Draymond. If you needed a quick sub for Steph, I think you could throw him in. And he's kind of been their point guard in those like deep bench units. When he's gone in, he can run the point. But I just don't know at what point you really need the extra ball handling if either he's in as a straight swap for Steph, so you're getting Jimmy, Draymond, and Pods off the ball, but none of those guys are really great 3-point shooters that you need them off the ball. I think Pat is certainly a guy that we saw what he can do and lead the charge last night. I don't know if he's fits the rotation here. I also don't know at what point he does, but Steve Kerr has done this. I don't know how many times with guys like Gary Payton II coming out of nowhere in game 3. It wouldn't, at this point, nothing about the Warriors surprises me, except, if Jonathan Kuminga plays 30 minutes in game 6, that would surprise me. But otherwise, anything else is like, all right, we can try that for 5 minutes. Yeah, totally.
Why not? Hey, listen, Alex, man, really great catching up with you today. I enjoyed the conversation very much, and keep up the great work you're doing at SF Gate, man. I'll continue to read you, and we'll connect again down the road, brother. You be well.
Thank you both, and really enjoyed it today. You guys,
Alex, we got to make a date to get to the Canyon Inn, buddy, like as soon as possible, especially since we're literally 2 miles apart. So we'll connect offline and let's meet at the Canyon Inn for a hacksaw.
We will make it work 1,000%.
Nice. Cheers, Alex. Thanks, brother. We'll see you soon. That's Alex Simon, everybody, sports editor of the SF Gate, and obviously a really good guy. And he knows his dubs, dude. Well, he knows it all. He knows his dubs, his Warriors, his Giants. But yeah, you like Alex. I like Alex too, man. And dude, I like where your head's at with Pat Spencer because this is one of the rare times where Paulie Mack himself has actually made an accurate call. You know what I mean? A lot of my calls miss the mark. I've been singing the praises of Pat Spencer all year because every time he's on the floor, I always feel like good things happen. He's just sound with the ball. He knows how to play. He's obviously a tough guy, dude, not backing down from an oversized giant that looks like a Color Me Bad backup singer. By the way, that Shangoon thing you just showed me sitting with Dylan Brooks over there, that's going to be in my head all day until tomorrow with the double-breasted. By the way, who wears a double-breasted jacket anymore? I thought that went out with David Letterman, like back in the 80s. Like, who the hell?
It's definitely making a comeback. Kenny Smith was wearing one the other night with Barkley, and it's definitely making a comeback. I've never been a fan just on the comfort level. I don't like this. It's like I'm wearing it's like how I hated cummerbunds and tuxedos. Like I don't want some
cummerbund, dude. What's the purpose of a cummerbund? You know
I don't know. I just anything that's
I throw a couple cummerbunds on in my day. You go to a prom, where's my cummerbund? You know what I mean? My cummerbund. What the hell? Yeah.
Anything that like restricts my gut, like that's why I don't tuck in. I hate tucking in. There are shirts known as the guayaberas that are like the Mexican dress shirts that I love because they're nice looking shirts and you don't have to tuck them in. And so you can wear them with a nice set of slacks and dress shoes. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like the whole thing wrapped around my tummy. So anyways, Paulie.
Yes, sir.
I saw this Mark Graves in the comment line. And also he says, let Pat play. I feel like we should start the movement. Let Pat play. Hashtag let Pat play. But like Alex is right. Hey, dude, Kerr took flyers on Gary Payton, Gary GP2, excuse me, Gary Payton II. Yeah. Moses Moody and other players. For all we know, they could be like, hey, he looked great the other night. Let's get him out there. So I would not be surprised. It'd be really, I mean, I loved his vibe. Like being out there and
I've been telling you all year. I'm telling you, when Pat Spencer's on the floor, there's a spark. In fact, it's kind of like Guy Santos. There's like a spark when Santos comes on the floor. Remember in game 4, Santos was on the floor, I think for only like 60 seconds, the entire game. But that was an impactful 60 seconds. He really did. He always comes out with that energy, that spark, goes after loose balls. So guys have different roles and different purposes. And it's going to be interesting. I'm eager to see what Steve Kerr comes up with for tomorrow night. Now, Tony, we are going to
real quick. Mitch Cumstein had a good point in the comment line too that Spencer had a nice hard foul on Brooks before the headbutt. So it's like we talk about using your minutes wisely and like being physical and also just like sending a message like don't come my way.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility too with like the Quentin Post minutes and the Guy Santos minutes and the Kevon Looney minutes.
Hey, it's funny you mentioned Mitch Cumstein. He's actually checking in as a super right now. So let's give him some love. Yeah. Super stick. And by the way, you do know the origin of Mitch Cumstein, right, Tony? And why Chevy Chase is there. He was into it. You know, he's night putting, just putting at night, you know, with the dean's niece or whatever, you know, to shout out Mitch Cumstein. And thank you, brother. Thank you. I look forward to shaking your hand at some point when we have our next social get together. Thank you, Tony. Now do we do bookmarks? I've been waiting all week, for God's sakes. You know, on Monday night. Yeah,
go ahead, laugh if you want to.
For bookmarks.
Maybe that's how you get your kicks. You and your good time buddies.
PMP style.
I got a flash for you, Joy Boy. Party time is over.
Hold on, I want to jam. I want to try something, T. Hold on. Go. I don't know if this is going to work. Bear with me. We're just screwing around here. Here we go. Turn it up. Let me see. I want to jam. Anyway, how was that? I'm trying to jam along with the best, T.
Yeah, totally. By the way, that's the newest.
Hold on. Bring it down.
Newest edition of Bookmarks from our art director Dom Peralta. Thank you, Dom. It's Bookman up in the club as we start our bookmark segment. Thank you so much, Dom Peralta. kind of want to leave that up there, but we can't because we're going to
I know. And by the way, never sleep on Bookman's work. I've said it before. I'll say it again. In Boogie Nights, dude, he's coming in strong in Boogie Nights, talking to Burt Reynolds, telling him something. I want to make $1.01 in this business. He drops a business on Burt Reynolds. I'm a big Boogie Nights fan. Great movie. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. All right, Tony, give me the bookmarks and don't hold back. It's like an avalanche, so you just start plowing through them, dude.
Well, first of all, I'm going to start this with, this isn't a bookmark necessarily, but we talked about it earlier, and I feel like I need to share it with people that haven't seen it. I assume people have, but just in case. So there is, can you see that? Paulie Mac.
I can. No, I know the thumb. I've seen it.
No,
Yeah.
Hang on. Shoot. Stand by. Let me just start this over, dude. Sorry. Stand by. This is a quick.
That's okay. I'm jamming on my nightclub jam.
Yeah. So there is a close-up of Steph's thumb. If you haven't seen it, that is the close-up of the thumb, and it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. Sorry, the club. We left the club for a second. I had to leave the club. But look at that. So, I mean, the fact that Steph isn't talking about it tells me that it's not good, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Well, last night in the post game, he had it heavily taped with an ice bag and or an ice pack on it. And one of the reporters goes, "Steph, how's your thumb feel right now?" And he looked down at it and he goes, "It feels cold."
Yeah.
That's what he said. I love that. No, Curry's. I mean, Alex just said it. One of his underrated, undermentioned attributes that makes him such a great player is his toughness.
Yes.
People don't normally think of Steph Curry as a tough guy, but I can assure you, Steph Curry is one of the toughest athletes in the NBA because he takes a beating unlike any other player because he's always fighting for open looks and he takes so much abuse out there. So Steph's going to be fine. Alex said, look, he popped for 36 points in game 4. He's due. I think it was game 3, actually, but he is due. He's due to pop. Tony, keep him coming. Keep them coming.
Nice, dude.
Sorry. Yeah, keep these coming.
No, you're good. You're good. But because this, like you said, there's a lot in bookmarks. And it looked like you started out with Nikki T. So
well, because I feel like, dude, I've put like a dozen Nikki T's in here, and I'm going to continue to do it until you play them. Don't need a reason. Just play Nikki T. He's entertaining.
Fucking bullshit. 2 strikes. Swing the bat. Swing the fucking bat. I don't know what you're looking at. All these guys. Swing the bat, man. Fucking real. Go down swinging. Who wants to take a 3rd strike with these umps?
Dude, Paulie, it's like he's in my head when I coach Little League. When I coach Little League, I can't say what he's saying to the kids, but I'm sitting the same thing. Swing the bat.
Hey, Tony.
Swinging.
I feel like Nikki T dropping science over the nightclub bed adds like an extra element of awesomeness. Like it was even better with the music bed under Nikki. Can I get a reprise? Can I get a Nikki Totoro reprise?
Sure, dude.
Fucking bullshit. 2 strikes. Swing the bat. Swing the fucking bat. I don't know what you're looking at. All these guys. Swing the bat, man. Fucking real. Go down swinging. Who wants to take a 3rd strike with these umps?
Oh, that ended perfectly with the song. That's great. Man.
Nick, this is, again, for the uninitiated, that's Nick Turturro. He's actually an accomplished actor and brother of John Turturro, but he's a lunatic Yankee fan. And the funny thing is, Tony, the Yankees could have like an 18-game lead in first place, and he's furious every day about the Yankees, no matter how well they're doing. He's always pissed off. Anyway, so shout out Nick Turturro, and thank you for playing that. There's like 10 more of those in here as you go. But anyway, keep going, T.
His tweet just says flat out, swing the bat, fuck taking a 3rd strike, with like 6 exclamation points.
Yeah, Nick Turturro, he loves baseball, dude. Yes.
All right, here we go. But this is another installment in the making the action figures here. So this is Bookman. Here we are in Bookmarks.
You see what it says up top, Tony? Lieutenant Bookman. Lieutenant, dude.
Look at dude. Look at this. And he's got the Folgers coffee. Wow, this is great, man. The
Tropic of Cancer.
The books from the library, dude.
Now, do you see the badge? NYPL, dude. Yeah. NYPL, New York Public Library. Look at him with the overcoat. God bless this guy, dude. Mr. Lieutenant Bookman. It's out there. How perfect is that? We got a Lieutenant Bookman action figure during Bookmarks. It's perfect.
It's perfect. It's perfect. All right, moving on, dude, to the next one. I think this is. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got to
Warriors broadcast tonight said he thought.
Here we go. Let's make it. Hopefully, the disco bed works well for Şengün's outfit. As he's, I'm gonna start calling him just Dick in a Box. Can I just start calling him?
Dude, look at that guy. Does he know he's a jackass? Does he know? Or I'll tell him if he needs that. Yes.
And again, as the reporter mentions Curry, watch the smug look on his face and Şengün's face. Watch this, and look at Brooks. By the way, look at it. Just right there.
I know. I see him. I see him.
Dylan, one of the Warriors broadcasters tonight said he thought you were intentionally trying to swipe down on Curry's thumb, and Kerr was asked about it and said it happens around the league. It's allowed by the rules, so players throughout the league do that. What do you think about that?
No, I've been playing the game. Shoot. If you're gonna come play the game injured or whenever you got, it's all about the game. You know, if I had an injured ankle, I would attack that ankle every single time.
Dude.
So,
all right. Yeah.
Whatever they're saying on the broadcast, they can keep saying it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not. It's upsetting me, Tony. Let's do something. Keep it coming. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. Oh no, this is Kerr talking about that he wants to see a rule change.
Yeah.
You're allowed to.
Here we go. Well, let's go back to this. Is Kerr talking about? I'd love to see a rule change about what they're talking about with Dylan Brooks. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah. So the rule, the NBA is once the shot has been released, you're allowed to hit the guy's arm. And so what's happened in the league this year is players they're going to outsmart the rules. They know what they're doing. So players all over the league are just taking shots at guys' shooting hands after release because they know it's not going to be a foul. And I'm very confident that next year the league will fix it because it's only a matter of time before somebody breaks a thumb or breaks a hand or whatever. But these are the rules. I do believe they're allowed to call a flagrant if they want. The refs could call a flagrant if the guy winds up and takes a shot,
or takes a second shot at it, like Dylan Brooks. You know what I'm saying, Paulie?
Tony, this is obviously setting it up perfectly for Craterface from the Scorpions. If we're talking rules, Tony, thank you.
Yeah, stand by. Hang on, Paulie.
Rules are there ain't no rules.
Okay, there we go.
I could to it all day. Thank you for that. The rules are there ain't no rules. Yeah.
One more time.
Rules are there ain't no rules.
And I love that lawnmower sounding engine we always hear every time we play that fight, man. It's killer.
Rules are there ain't no rules.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, buddy.
That's a Scorpion's hot rod that goes up against Travolta's hot rod.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
The road at Thunder Road.
By the way, we need to shout out about Craterface and the Scorpions. How about the fact that when Travolta and Craterface are like side by side, dude, drag racing for glory, racing for pinks, you punk ownership papers.
Yeah.
This guy Craterface has something I've never seen on any car in the history of cinema or real life. Tony, do you remember when he's got the spinning, rotating blades that come out of the bottom, and now he's carving up Zuko's car? What was that? Like, what was that?
That was
even James Bond doesn't have that kind of crap, dude. The spinning blades are now slicing up Zuko's car. I'm just throwing it out there.
It goes to show you how dirty of a player the Scorpions were. You might as well put Şengün and Dylan Brooks in the back seat of the Scorpions car.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking, Tony. Very good, dude. Dylan Brooks definitely would have ridden with the Scorpions. There's no question. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Come on. So, all right, let's move on. Now, look at this. Stevie Nicks and Tom Petty at the Cow Palace.
1981. I threw that in there last night just for a goof because I love both of these people and the Cow Palace, which we love to talk about on the show. 1981. And I got to tell you, too, Stevie Nicks at that point, a massive crush on her when I was a kid, dude. Massive crush.
God, yeah. Do you think, did they ever have relations, Petty and Nicks?
I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure they dabbled a little bit, and I know that she was, but listen, all the guys were in love. All the boys were in love with Stevie Nicks. I know Joe Walsh had a relationship with her. Don Henley had a relationship with her. I think she. You know who else she had a relationship with is Jimmy Iovine, that little producer guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the story. By the way, if you have an extra 4 hours this weekend or this coming month, watch the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers documentary. I forget what it's called. No,
Running Down a Dream. Running Down a Dream. Yeah.
It's 4 hours, but it's an incredible 4 hours. And the story that Tom Petty tells about Stevie Nicks wanting to join the Heartbreakers is classic. And Tom Petty's like, but Stevie, there's no women in the Heartbreakers. And it's she's like, no, but come on, Tom, I want to, because stop dragging my heart around, right? Didn't Petty write that for her? And then when Petty realized how good of a song it was, he's like, I think I need to take this one back.
Well, no. The best part about this is you're close. From how I understand it, is Tom Petty wrote "Stop Dragging My Heart Around." Great song, great effing song. Mm-hmm. And since Iovine was producing "Damn the Torpedoes," like he was producing Petty records, he took the effing song. Yes. And did an end around, and he brought it to Stevie, and he goes, Stevie, I think you should do this song. And that song actually wound up on a Stevie Nicks record. It's not even on a Tom Petty record. That's on a Stevie Nicks record, and it's a full Heartbreakers track. The whole band is there, but it was Iovine, because Iovine was messing around with Stevie, and he wanted to help the record out, so he gave her the Tom Petty. He's a seasoned, snaky little guy. Iovine also took Because the Night away from Bruce and gave it to Patti Smith. Same kind of thing. He was like, let me just see if Patti Smith wants to do. Didn't even tell Bruce, and then Bruce heard it, and he was like, you know what? That's so good. I gotta give it to her. It's too good. But anyway, I remember
that, Paulie. Also, I want to say, if you haven't seen the show, The Defiant Ones with Iovine, and is it Dr. Dre?
Correct. Yes.
I forget. I'm blanking on the other two people in the show. Gosh darn it! But The Defiant Ones. It's Dr. Dre.
No, you're right. It's just about Dre and Iovine. It's just the two of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then, dude, that show, I think it's a 4-parter, is really, really good. So check
it's
out.
It's on HBO. You can find it on demand on HBO. And Noemi, I want to just address Noemi real quick because of what Tony was talking about. There is a Tom Petty documentary. I highly recommend it, just like Tony. It's called Running Down a Dream. Noemi, you'll love it. You love music. You love Petty. You're going to love this. And Marcel, Defiant Ones rules. I just threw it up there because we love the Cow Palace, and I love both these people. That's all. And last thing on Stevie Nicks, I remember I was probably like a freshman in high school, sophomore in high school, that kind of stuff. And then when she came out with that song, Stand Back in the middle of my room, I always felt like I was kind of scared because she's kind of yelling at you in that song. Stand back. You're like, okay, yes, I will stand back. But at the same time, I was like head over heels, dude. All the boys were in love with Stevie Nicks. So rock and roll. And just a little moment of greatness there at the Cow Palace. That's all.
And so, in everybody's spare 8 hours of time this weekend, watch the Running Down a Dream documentary and follow it up with all 4 episodes of The Defiant Ones. And as Mike Damone says, you won't regret it. And just a little revisit of Bookman here in Bookmarks. That's the new discotheque version of Bookmarks. Thank you, Don Peralta.
Yes.
And then we will continue here.
Keep them coming. I want more Bookmarks. There's so many. I need more shows, Tony. Let's go.
No question. Here we go. Let me get this back into the groove here.
Stand back.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is great. This is Draymond watching TJD shove Şengün. And he says something.
That's my guy. He goes, that's my guy. Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Look at the smile on his face, too. Like, look at this. Look at this smile. Like, that guy is licking his chops for tomorrow night. I cannot wait for tomorrow night's game. I mean, Houston, be ready. You better be ready. That's all I got to say. I don't know.
I want to take it a step farther. If I'm going to be a little crass, if I could. Hey, Houston, blank off. Just blank off. I'm looking forward to the Warriors closing the door on these fools tomorrow night at Chase Center. And if you are lucky enough to have a ticket, get out there and make some freaking noise and throw the shirt on. For God's sakes, man. Strength in numbers. Let's stand up together. Tony, keep the bookmarks coming. I'm having a great time with this.
Okay, now we're going to have some fun with LeBron. Now it's time to turn the page.
We haven't mentioned him all day. And by the way, Tony, I'm here to take my beating today. I don't know what got into me last night. Look at him. Dude, look at him.
This is the guy that Paulie felt sorry for last night. Last night, Paulie had a moment of like, I feel sorry for LeBron. And
you got me. No, you got me.
Reached through my screen and smacked you across the face, I would have done it.
You know what? Sometimes I need a good punch in the face. I gotta be honest with you. I got you know what I mean? You see me on the street, you don't like a take, don't even say anything. Just slap me in the face. Because I feel like I'm acknowledging it. I came up in the mic and said, you know what? I'm starting to feel bad for LeBron. And a small part of me was last night because I'm starting to think like it's winding down to the point like honestly.
Look at this.
I gave you my heart. I gave you my soul.
That's this year, by the way. That's this year.
As a matter of fact, I was the one who said I loved you first. It was about 8 years ago.
Can you run it back, T? Run this back. I want people to get the full effect of LeBron and his demonstrative nonsense. And look at his resume here. It's not looking too good here, buddy.
Yeah, let me read this real quick. 2019 missed playoffs. 2020 championship with an asterisk.
That's right. He's playing in an empty gym in a 60-game season. Cut the crap. That shouldn't be. I'll never acknowledge the 2020 championship ever. I'm never going to acknowledge it.
Same with the Dodgers. I'll never recognize either of those championships. 2021 eliminated in the first round. 2022 missed the playoffs. 23 swept in the Western Conference Finals. 24 eliminated in first round. 25 eliminated in first round. By the way, he is 2-12 in his last 14 playoff games, Paul.
Unbelievable.
2-12. So let's run this back one more time. It's great. Here we go.
Yeah. Just watch this guy's antics. Yeah. This is the guy that calls himself the king, by the way. Yeah.
I gave you my heart. I gave you my soul.
Dude, look at him.
As a matter of fact, I was the one who said I loved you first. It was about 8 years ago. Don't act like you don't know.
By the way, you see the rest of his teammates are just standing around. Like, dude, whenever you're done, we gotta play an overtime period now because the game is tied. That was this year. He blew a hissy fit at the end of regulation, and all his teammates and coaches are waiting for him to finish so we can huddle up and start talking about how we want to play in this overtime period. Anyway, that's your guy, Tony, LeBron James.
I know that's your guy last night.
I know he is. He's my guy now. I know.
Paulie on record saying he felt sorry for LeBron James.
I did. I'll take the slaps next time you see me. By the way, I just threw this in here to revisit. Yeah, because Pat Spencer.
Let's revisit it all damn day. By the way, Pat Spencer is walking away from a very irate Dylan Brooks who's acting out of his mind.
He got no reason to be upset, Dylan. We were fighting for a loose ball. Calm down, Dylan Brooks. It's like he's chemically imbalanced or something. It was like a bad look. Yeah,
I go to the church of Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith when it comes to post-game analysis. And dude, all three of them were like, "Hey, Dylan Brooks, will you just chill the fuck out?" They didn't say the F word, but they said, "Will you just chill out, man? You're winning the game. There's no reason for you to act like a lunatic like you're acting like that." Because Moody just went to try and grab for the jump ball. And Dylan Brooks acted like Moody was, I don't know, dry humping his leg. I don't know. And so here's Pat Spencer walking away from the play. Walking away. Oh, okay. Look at Dick in the box. Look at Dick in the box. By the way.
Not laughing. Yeah, nice face. Nice war face, dude. Look at it. He looks like a goofball. Look at that. Dude, look at him. This is...
And you know he's looking at, by the way? He's looking at the ref right there.
The ref. Oh, did you see that? Oh, look what they're doing. Yeah. Can dish it out, but they can't take it. You see what I mean? You want to be a tough guy, and then when someone stands up to you, you don't like it. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could do this like quicker. I mean, and then the smile on his face. He's
such a jackass, man. He's such a jackass.
He's so smug. I mean, Dick in the box. And look at this. Spencer is walking away and he's looking up at the scoreboard, dude. Look at this. Looking up at the scoreboard. Hey, I'm a foot taller than you. I might as well just elbow you and shove you.
Tony, from this day forward, whenever you and I talk about the greatest 61s of all time, it obviously starts with Jesse Sapullo. Obviously.
Yes,
obviously. Played every damn spot on that offensive line under Bob McKittrick. He's moving him from guard to center, whatever. Whatever you need, Jesse's got you covered. Now I want to include Pat Spencer in great 61s of all time. He's got to be part of it now going forward.
That's a great call. I love it. I love it. Seriously. I would love to see Spencer just rock a handlebar stash, by the way. He's got a nice stash. Just give me the full handlebar, though, dude. Shave everything else and give me the handlebar.
Like Jesse did at one point?
Like who?
Like Jesse did? Sapullo? Is that what you mean?
No. I'm just saying I'm talking about Spencer's look. And Spencer has a nice beard and mustache. And, a lot of people can't grow a full beard and a mustache. Obviously, Spencer can. I want to see the handlebar. Give me that full handlebar, okay?
Hey, Escobar, dude. Tony, get Escobar up there ASAP. This is maybe my favorite comment of the day. Everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. Escobar, that's what I'm talking about. And I love the fact that this guy's the third. Not the second, not the third, bro. Escobar, the third. And by the way, how about his the image he's got there? The guy with the mask on typing, it's amazing. Like just sending out tweets or whatever. Escobar the third, brother. I love the take, and I agree. Everyone's a tough guy until someone gets in your face. Keep them coming, Tony. Keep the bookmarks coming. We ain't done.
Let's go. Hang stand by, Paulie. I'm going to thank you, Escobar, for the super, and thank you everybody for the super. We obviously appreciate it very, very much. As we scroll.
This is interesting.
All right,
I'm just saying, this is interesting. Check this out.
I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves because we have a lot of basketball hopefully ahead of us in this season. But here we go.
Bro, please come to the Warriors. Somebody say please come to the Warriors. Hey. Hey, man.
Listen, if I'm Joe Lacob, I'm preparing the paperwork right now. I'm gassing up the private plane, and I'm going, hey, you know what, Giannis? I saw what happened, and you don't need to be treated like that anymore. Why don't you come out west? Why don't you throw on this Golden State Warrior jersey, grab yourself a couple rings on the way out? Because I'm telling you right now, when you look at the Kevin Durant era, if you remember, Tony, we used to talk. I remember these conversations that you and I had. I really do. We would talk about the Warriors after they had won a championship. And they were like, dude, can you imagine adding Kevin Durant to this team? Like the off-season anticipation leading up to that year was like, and we all knew. There was like, there's no way you're going to be able to defend this team. There's no way that the Golden State Warriors are going to win a title with Kevin Durant. There's no question. Then they won back-to-back titles, and they would have won a third if Clay and Durant didn't get hurt in that Toronto series. They would have won 3 in a row. But I mean, imagine now here we are again with the same conversation, because as great as Draymond Green is, he was never really considered part of the big three offensively. It was Clay, Steph, and Draymond. Now, I love Draymond Green, and you're not getting any of these rings without him. But my point is, can you imagine this new big three vision of Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Giannis, dude?
Well, the question is, and Robot Center, you stole my thought right out of my head, is can they afford all three of them? Curry, Butler, and Giannis. So that's the question. You got to get into the numbers of it. And by the way, Scarlet Fire also, she says, if there's one city that loves a freak, it's definitely San Francisco. So the Greek freak can be the next freak maybe in San Francisco after, the freak, which we love. We're Lincecum heads on this show.
No, I'm all about the freaks. I'm a freak myself. You know what I mean? And I got to say, shout out Jimi Hendrix. If 6 was 9, I'm going to let my freak flag fly. You're damn right, Hendrix. Let that freak flag fly. That's what we're all doing. We didn't let my freak flag fly for years. All right, Tony, anyway, I just thought I wanted you to see Giannis. He certainly doesn't seem put off by the idea. He doesn't seem, I don't know.
Since we're talking bookmarks and we're talking Joy Boy, look at the joy of that smile of Giannis. And I've always liked his vibe.
Everybody does. He's a perfect gentleman, this guy. He really is.
Yes. So it's like, hey man, if there's ever somebody that's going to make it possible or make it happen,
I'll make it happen. God damn it. I'm working on it right now. You know what I mean? Joe Lacob is in his laboratory somewhere. I know Lacob has seen this. Dude, Lacob wants to win as much as Draymond Green. I'm telling you right now, he is a fierce competitor. And I don't know. I just thought this would be kind of interesting food for thought here going into the weekend. Little Giannis teaser.
This is a couple days ago. This is the weird post-game interaction with Giannis. I don't know what happened there. Something happened, and I never actually fully got the full story.
A lot of bad blood. Look at this, man. This is like,
but the Giannis grab of the back of the neck is really odd.
Well, something must have happened. I mean, obviously, this way he wouldn't do that unprovoked. I mean,
I know. It's just odd. The whole interaction is just very odd. So,
they still trying to clean it up.
A lot of bad blood, man. A lot of bad blood in this NBA playoffs. And we're only in the first round, dude. Imagine what's going to happen as we go deeper. Yeah.
It's pretty wild,
Look at that scrum, dude. Look at that. It's a mosh pit right there. Look at that. That's insanity. The series is over. They can't get these guys off the floor. All right, couple more, Tony. Couple more.
This is funny when Draymond was in the huddle for the Rockets.
Well, he won Hustle Player
Look at him.
It's really interesting. That award is actually a calculation.
Messing with your boy calling me bad.
Dick in the box, man.
I love Draymond Green again. Look at him right in the huddle.
Hold on. Where's the pause? I want to pause it right in a certain spot. Right there. Look at that.
Yeah. That's a great image. And by the way, look at your boys. Look at Zoolander over there, man.
as this series has gone on, like in the beginning of the series, I was like, man, that kid Şengün, he's a really good player. Tip your cap. He's a really good player, but he's got a lot of antics, man. I wish, like, again, it all goes back to the template of Steph Curry, man. And we are so lucky that he's a Warrior, because no matter what team he's on, I would love him. The lack of antics from Steph Curry is what it's all about.
Scarlet Fire. I like, and you can. Great call. He's Şengün is a mouth breather, Tony. He's a mouth breather. Great description. All right, man. Two more. Give me two more bookmarks, and then we'll wrap it up today because I got to eat some lunch. I'm starving.
Give me two.
Nice, Tony.
Two.
You know what? Let me join in. I got to do some work on this damn thing. But for now, let me just give you one of these.
This is my thesaurus.
Okay, Tony. Give me one more good bookmark today.
I got to give you at least two, and this one starts at first. Here you go. There's Justin Verlander and Kate Upton as Danny Zuko and Sandra D for Halloween. Dude.
Oh, Sandy. Sandy. Yeah. Oh, Sandy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Paulie, tell me about it, stud.
Oh, dude, don't get me going on that. Well, here's the question all boys have been asking themselves for decades now. You prefer the cheerleader, Olivia Newton-John, or the black leather-clad kitten with a whip type at the end? The purified Sandra D or the naughty leather-clad Sandra D? Tony, go.
Come on, man. You know, I'm going this version of Sandra D all damn day. Don't forget the flick of the cigarette and then smashing it out with her high heel. Don't forget about that action too.
How could I forget, dude? It's burned into my brain. I'll never go. My mouth. You want to talk about mouth breathers? When I saw that, I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do when I saw Olivia Newton-John in that state with the hair and the leather. I was like, God damn. And then she's got the heels going, dude, snuffing out cigarettes. I'm all over it.
Verlander is a good-looking Zuko. He's a good-looking Zuko right there, dude.
Well, he's a great. They actually, kidding aside, they both look great, and the fact that he's got a cigarette behind his ear. And by the way, that's your starting pitcher tonight. That's your guy. He's taking the hill for the Giants tonight against Colorado. But no, I thought you would love this because Tony and I are like monster Grease fans, and I just thought that was a cool little.
These post. Are like maybe the Giants should have Grease night based on knowing that their starting pitcher was Danny Zuko. Maybe they have
if they have Grease night, you and I should be the guys singing the national anthem or throwing out the first pitch at Grease night in full Grease gear, dude. You and I, Kaneki and Zuko, done. That's it. Kaneki, I'll be either one. You take your pick. I'm happy with either role, either one.
I'd rather be the shorter, more rotund Thunderbird. I forget his name, but I'd rather be the
Putsy? You want to be freaking Putsy?
Yeah, I'll be Putsy. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he's more of a speed.
How about when no, that's not Putsy. I know the guy you're talking about. I forget his name. The guy with the curly hair. When they're sitting on the bleachers, and he goes like this. I'll never forget this. Out of nowhere, he goes, "Hey, Kaneki, you want a piece of salami?"
Yes, that guy.
And dude, think about that. You want a piece of salami?
That's the guy who says, "When a guy picks a chick over his friend, something ought to be wrong." You know.
Next sentence, and then again the slam dunk right after that. Come on, guys, let's go get a pizza.
Yeah,
he actually says that. When a guy picks a chick over his friend, something's wrong. Come on, guys, let's go get a pizza. Yeah. And kind of a sing-song quality. Something's wrong. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, people are down with the Grease night. I think we got to send the Giants Public Relations Department a Grease night recommendation. Hold on a second. Patty, hold on. Next PMP event, movie watch Grease all damn day.
The funny thing is, Patty, is this is not a bluff. Tony and I are not bluffing. Like, we know this thing inside and out. In fact, years ago, Tony and I had a late night out in the Mission District. We were hanging. I don't even know if you remember this, Tony, but one night we were at the Latin Social Club in the Mission. I don't know how we wound up over there. And one thing led to another. And like we were talking Grease, and I think we got challenged by a table. Like, my memory's a little hazy, but I think it was somebody at another table was like, you guys are talking about Grease. I think it was like a girl. She was like, you guys have been talking about Grease a lot. Like, you guys are just shut up. You guys don't know anything about Grease. And we're like, oh, really? And then next thing you know, dude, I think we did the entire summer loving thing. Had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. Met a boy crazy for me. Met a girl cute as can be. The whole thing. Like, we went through the whole thing. Summer sun, something's begun. Over summer night. So well. Tell me more. I'll go all day. I'll go all damn day. Patty, thank you. Sign me up. I'm down for Greece. I'm down anytime.
Dude, Rags, you're on the freaking money, dude. Rizzo has a bun in the oven.
When they're spreading the rumor, hey, Rizzo's got a bun in the oven, and they're all like, "Whitman did a bun in the oven." And then how about when Kanicki's on the Ferris wheel at the end, on the Ferris wheel, and then she's at the bottom. She goes, "Kanicki, I'm not pregnant." Yeah. Then they start making out again. Let's go make another baby. Then you're not pregnant. Anyway.
I remember we watched Grease together once, and we both just wanted to be inside the car as they ascend into heaven, like at the end of the movie when they're in the sky flying away.
Right up into the sky. Up into the sky, the two of them. Yeah. Not a bad ending.
Hey, Patty, thank you for the super. We love you. And also, Patty reminds me, I want to remind everybody that we are on Facebook. If you want to follow us on Facebook at Polymax Particles, find the page. We're also on Facebook. If Facebook is your jam, get on board. Check us out there. So thank you, Patty.
Hey,
Polly, yeah, go ahead.
I want to shout Rags out. Rags, you're flexing a lot of deep Grease knowledge. I think that I didn't even know that you rolled that deep with Grease, but I'm loving what I'm hearing from you because you dropped a false alarm. False alarm, huh? I'm not pregnant. Anyway, Rags, you roll right alongside us, dude. You can be Putsy or the other guy with the curly hair. You want a piece of salami? All right, Tony, give me this Ann Edwards thing, and then we're going to close Bookmarks.
Well, hang on. Not so fast there, Hotshot.
Okay. I like you calling me Hotshot, dude. I like that.
Going further in the playoffs to go versus.
One more time. You got to lower the bed. This is worth hearing. I remember this.
Yeah, I don't even know. It might be too low to even play, to be honest with you. But I'll lower the music. I'll exit the club for a second. I'm gonna go outside and have a breath of fresh air, and then let's go back to this and see if we can make it happen. It might be tough. The volume might be too low. So here we go.
Go versus the Warriors. I want to play the Warriors. I want to get to the Warriors. Wherever they at, I want to get to them.
Why the Warriors?
I mean, because Draymond talks so much trash. That's pretty much the only reason.
Ooh, so he wants the Warriors. He wants the Warriors, dude.
Yeah, and that was actually filmed before the Lakers series. He was just saying, like, he wants to play the Warriors in the playoffs. Draymond talks a lot of smack. He's ready. This kid is poised, man. He's ready to join the big dogs. He's going to be one of the new faces of the NBA when your Steph Currys, your Kevin Durant's, and LeBron James guys. When those guys all ride off into the sunset, this is your next crop. This is the next crop. Tyrese Halliburton, guys like that. Anthony Edwards. I mean, these are the guys that are going to represent the league very, very soon. Within 5 years, I'd say all those guys I mentioned will probably have played their last game in the NBA. And then these are the guys that are going to be marketed as a new fan. And I like Ann Edwards. I do. I think he could use a little humility because he hasn't really done anything yet. But the talent is so obvious. And he's a great kid. He's a really likable kid. Totally. But I didn't dig when he was like taunting Kevin Durant on the floor and stuff. It's like, dude, you got to take it easy because you haven't done anything yet. But he's on his way. And Alex Simon said it, Tony. This could be a real problem this next series. But let's beat Houston first. Let's do the Rockets first.
Take care of business tomorrow night. Ian Weiland, I see you, dude. The Warriors are 3-1 against the Wolves. So, yes, I feel you, Ian. I'm with you on that. Like, everybody's saying it's a tough matchup, but let's not forget the Warriors have handled their business against the Wolves this season. And also, I respect Ant-Man. I really do. But, dude, my son does with the basketball shoes my son wears on his basketball team, the Edwards shoes, which are pretty cool looking shoes, by the way. But they're not the LaMelo Ball, like outrageous, 10 different colors, whatever. But did you happen to see the footage of Edwards walking the streets outside of the crypto center, whatever they call it? He was walking. Did you see him walking the streets?
I did. Dude. Talking about, tell me what he said.
He kept saying Lakers in 5, because that's what Shannon Sharp and other people were saying, Lakers in 5. He's like, no, Wolves in 5. So, dude, the kid, he's putting a target on his back. So it's like, hey, dude, back it up. And he's backed it up so far. But, man, let's first of all, like we said, take care of business tomorrow night. But, man, if they play the Wolves, that is going to be another supercharged series, man.
Well, it would be a really tough assignment, too. This is a very good team, as you guys are going to see. They looked awfully good against the Lakers. And I like Anthony Edwards. I do. I like this kid. I think he's a special talent. And all right, Tony, listen, let's
I gotta find one more thing, dude. There's one more thing that I wanted to make sure we shared, and I'm finding it. Let me find it, Paulie. Just let me find it, please. Oh, there it is, right there. There it is. Hang on. Can you see this? This is Dub Nation at the newly refurbished and newly reopened Finnerty's in New York, and we had We
Hell
had
yeah.
oh God, why am I blanking on his name?
Brian Stapleton. Yeah.
Brian, thank you. We had Brian on the other week. It was great.
Man, nice crowd. I tell you,
that is fantastic, Paulie.
I wish that there was a place like this in New York when I was living back there, because one of the reasons Rags and I became friends is because he was the only Dallas Cowboy fan in the school. And imagine me, dude, coming from the West Coast, I was the only Niner fan in a sea of giant blue. You know what I mean? Hearing about Jim Burt and freaking Phil Simms every day and everything.
Right.
And I wish we had a place like this. I would have gone to watch every Niner game at Finnerty's, but it didn't exist yet. But it's so great to see it reopened, and seeing crowds like this just kind of warms my heart. Knowing that there's that kind of Bay Area presence around New York City now is like really, really cool. And when we go back to the city, we're definitely going to stop by, have a couple beers. And I recommend everybody else do the same. Go in there, and I'm dead serious about this. Ask for Brian and say, like, hey, I saw you on Paulie's show. I love your spot, and let him take it from there. He'll treat you like family. He's a lot like Neil Donardi, by the way. Brian Stapleton. Yeah. When you walk in that door, he's gonna treat you like family. Tony, outstanding job. One of the reasons I wanted to go long today is because tomorrow, I just got to throw this warning shot out there right now. I have to do a very tight show. I got to end at 1:00 tomorrow because I'm hopping on a plane. My son is graduating college. Tony, do you believe that kid that you used to babysit and take to day camp when I was doing the morning show with Murph? Tony was my nanny for a summer. Tony was my nanny. I'm dead serious. He took care of both of my little kids when they were little, and he would drive them to summer camp and shit like that. And they love Uncle Tony. They love Uncle Tony. And Tony, that little kid who was like this big, he's graduating college this weekend. How crazy is that, man? Nuts.
Love it. And by the way, just because we want to be correct here on the show, Robot Centaur, thank you for having my back. It was the Staples Center, not the Crypto. Crypto is for the Clippers. Staples was where the Lakers played. So I apologize about that. But Robot Centaur, thank you, dude, for having my back. Paulie, I'm super stoked for Tommy. You need to send me pictures of him getting that freaking diploma, dude. That's a big freaking moment in that kid's life.
I know.
You know how much I love that kid. I'm so happy for him. And you know what? I hope that I don't know where you're going to be able to catch Game 6, but hopefully you can catch it like on delay, or maybe you're watching it live as you're at the.
No, I'll be up there. I'll be my flight is landing right around the start of the game, and Portland's a small town. Like it only takes 20 minutes to get to my hotel from the airport. So what I think, just to be honest, dude, I think I'm going to be watching the game in my hotel room. I'm just going to drop my bags and watch the game, and then I'll go out and take care of all my business after that. But I'm not missing this game. All right, Tony, I want to talk about Los D over at Flex Funding.
I'm sorry, Paul. I'm going to leave the club real quick.
Okay, yeah, no problem, man.
Think about it. The club music. Oh, what's the name of that bed, by the way? I got to remember the name of that music.
It sounded so great over Nikki Turturro. Come on, swing the bat. Anyway, we'll do more Nikki tomorrow. I put like a dozen of those in there. There's so much Nikki T.
And say goodbye to Joy Boy. We'll see Joy Boy later on. All right.
See you, y'all. All right. Flex Funding, Tony. Carlos De La Fuente, one of the coolest guys we know. And he's out here trying to help our audience. And he already has, actually. He's done a couple of deals with people in our audience. And he can definitely do the same for you. He's done deals with Renelle Brooks Moon's mom. Did a reverse mortgage, I believe, for her a few years back. Private money loans, mortgage decisions, mortgage questions. He can do it all. HELOC loans, one of his specialties, by the way. The home equity line of credit. Always like to mention this, Tony, no appraisal fees, no hidden fees, no escrow, no title fees, and very fast closings. Tony was just saying that a couple of minutes ago, hey, this weekend, if you have time, watch the Tom Petty movie, watch Grease, stuff like that. That's the problem. Everyone's time is because even us, Tony and I, like, there's not enough hours in the day anymore to do all the stuff we want to do. So the fact that he can close in 8 days, that's pretty big value in that. It's in itself, Tony.
I don't know if we'll have enough time.
That's all.
No, I just don't know if Carlos is going to have enough time. But anyway, so those who simply need some cash, if it's not like a mortgage situation, excuse me, but you're like, you know what? I could use a loan. I could use a private money loan. I'm not going to lie. Carlos can help you with that. And again, if the timing is right, you guys are going to get along great and make sweet music together. If the timing isn't right, you might not even know that, but Carlos can sniff that out. He will tell you. And why is that important? Because he's not just going to blindside you and say like, yeah, let's do this. Sign right here. If he thinks it's not right, he's going to tell you it's not right. And I think that's one of the most valuable qualities Carlos has. So if you have a question, if you need a loan, if you want to redo your mortgage, we're talking fix and flips, one of Tony's favorites, do an old fix and flip. 925-250-4894. Visit Carlos, or rather ask questions, shoot him an email, carlos@myflexnow.com. Tony, I'm going to give you the floor for a second, and then we're going to talk about Matt Young. But you take it here from Carlos.
At the beginning of the show, I talked about the word pressure. Under pressure. Ding, 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 ding. But seriously, because I talked about my experience this morning at a certain unnamed auto dealership when I brought my car to them and I told them exactly what I wanted to do. And then I got pressured into all this other crap, even to the point where the guy asked me if I wanted to buy a new $420 key. So I said, no, I'm not here to buy a new $400 key. I said, I'm here to fix this one thing. And that's what I'd like to do. And it was a whole uncomfortable, pressured situation. That's exactly what you're not going to get with Los. You're going to get a friendly hang. It's more like a hang. You're going to get to know, like Carlos has said it multiple times, the relationships is what it's all about for him.
Good.
That he's building a relationship. I couldn't get out of this dealership faster than, and I wanted this conversation to end immediately, and it kept going. I think you're gonna, if you hang out with Los, if you talk to Los about any type of out of the box mortgage situation, you're not going to be like dreading the conversation. You're actually might be something to look forward to. This was not something I look forward to. With Los, there's no pressure. It's a win-win situation. He wants to help you out. It helps him out. It helps everybody. So it's this. There's no pressure. It's the main word I wanted people to understand about with Los. That's all, Paulie.
By the way, you're going to catapult me into a songs about pressure kind of binge after the show, because Under Pressure with the bass line, bum 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 bum, bum bum bing bing. By the way, even though like Paulie Mac, Creative Tony, guys like that, like we're not typically identified as Vanilla Ice fans, I'm going to go ahead and say it's a pretty good sample he used right there in Ice Ice Baby. Pretty good sample. Go ahead, Tony.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this, but I feel like he said this on MTV, and it might have been a Nick Loader MTV News segment. And it was, basically Nick Loader did one of these. He said MTV News with Nick Loader, but
Kurt Loader.
Sorry.
You're good. Shout out Tabitha Soren too now. You got the two-man operation or two-person operation. You got Tabitha, you got Kurt. See, that's why this generation's all messed up. I'm telling you right now, this is why these kids are lost at sea. And by the way, Humble Fats and the rest of you guys, thank you for the well wishes for my son. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you.
Right.
No, because this generation has no guiding light. They have no Kurt Loader. They have no Tabitha Soren going, guys, here's what's going on. Here's the week in rock. Tony, the week in rock.
Week in rock.
On Friday, I'm all about the week in rock. Tonight, Axl Rose arrested, whatever. You would get all the stuff. And now they don't have anything like that. You know what I mean? Here's the week in rock now. Welcome to the week in rock. Taylor Swift went to a Chiefs game. I mean, like, yeah. What else? No room. Did anybody get arrested? I want some rock and roll stuff here.
Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift are hanging out, having a seltzer in the Chiefs suite. Yeah,
that's real rock and roll, man. That's living dangerous. And by the way, Nikki DiFrancesco, Tony, get him up as a super. Get him up there. Yeah.
Stand by, Paulie. Pause. Hold on a second. I want to tell everybody, Carlos De La Fuente, 925-250-4894. For those that are listening on the audio versions only, which you can find on Spotify, TuneIn, and Apple Podcasts. Carlos at myflexnow.com.
Thank you.
And Paulie, I wanted to continue on that Vanilla Ice tip, but I will get Nikki DiFrancesco up on the screen immediately. I just want to get Carlos's stuff down and stand by. Where did he go? There's Nikki right there, Nikki D. And he says, Paulie's Punks. My pick this week is Paulie Mac for giving us 90+ minute episodes after being told to tighten up. Nice, dude. Yeah.
You know, it's true. Here's a true story, Nick, and I'm not making this up. Every word I say is 100% stacks of Bibles with my hand on it. True. Thank you, Tony. Last night, Tony and I were talking after the game, and I was like this, Nick. I go, we're going to have so much to do tomorrow, and Friday I have to do a tight show. Like, I got no choice because I got to catch a plane. That's what I was saying earlier. I got to end at 1 and then run off to the airport, fly up to Portland. And I said, Tony, there's a good chance, dude, we might have to rip up the rule book, go punk rock tomorrow, and just do like a 2-hour show. It's exactly what I said. And Nikki DiFrancesco sniffed it out. He goes, it was an act of punk rock. Like we were told by the authorities, hey, you guys got to tighten this up, dude. An hour tops. Tops. There's even an argument. Some people were laying on me for 45 effing minutes. And I'm like, you know what, though? That's like very ungrateful dead. Like, you got to give the people something. You can't just give them like 30 minutes. You got to be generous with the show. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I love doing the show. I could do it for 4. I did 4 hours every day for 20 years. Not like I can't do 4 hours. But the point is, like, the argument is that the attention spans aren't there anymore. Nobody wants a 4-hour show. And I can kind of roll with that. I get it. So we're trying to tighten it up. But today, Nick, you're right. We went full punk rock. Rule book is out the window. We're going to do the generous show on a Thursday. That's all.
Just rules are, there ain't no rules.
Sorry, one more time.
Rules are, there ain't no rules.
Hey, Paulie, on that note, the beauty of doing these shows on YouTube is that people can go back if they don't catch them live, and they can go pick out whatever parts they want to check out. If they want to scroll ahead, if they want to, rewind something, that's the beauty of these shows. So, hey, they might not want to go capture an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes full in its entirety in one sit, but you can do multiple sittings if you'd like. So, Nikki, thank you for the super. And back to Vanilla Ice, Paulie. I will never forget when Vanilla Ice says, because he got in trouble for the under pressure thing, and he goes, no, hold on. He goes, Bowie does dun 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 dun, and Vanilla Ice said, I do dun 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 dun, and he goes, that little that you added in, it's totally different.
I saw the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. See, but what I did was I went dun 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 dun. Okay, I added the extra dun dun, so it's totally different. I'm like, bro, you're killing me. And you know what turns out? It turns out Vanilla Ice is like a super cool guy now. Like, he's got a great sense of humor. In fact, he was playing like speed metal for a while. I'm not kidding. In the early 2000s, he would like joined a speed metal band. He's got like no ego, great sense of humor. And you know who's hung out with him? Not making this up. Former KMBR alum, or I should say Ticket 1050 alum. One of great guy. You love him. I love him. Mikey Verdew. Mikey Verdew has hung with the Iceman. I've seen the photographs. I've seen it. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
And now, by the way, last thing on Vanilla Ice. I can't believe we're talking ice, but that's what happens today. Vanilla Ice now, I think he's like a contractor, dude. I think he'll come and build like an extension on your house if you call him, stuff like that. He builds. I think he's a contractor.
If I can invite people over to my living room and say Vanilla Ice built this, I'm pretty psyched about that.
John Joseph, I'm not kidding. No, I know it sounds crazy, but Vanilla Ice was like a lead vocalist in a speed metal, or maybe it was a punk band. Anyway, look into it, but I've seen the footage. It's out there. All right, Tony, final note of the day. I want to talk about Dr. Matt Young. You got something, though, real quick. Go ahead.
Before we go to Dr. Matt Young, can I just stand by?
Oh,
hold on a second. Is the volume down?
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
It is. Gosh darn it, stand by. I just want to do a little hit.
Give us the los. Give us the los. Give us the los. Give us the los. What loan would you like?
That's it. Now, here's another truth. Here's another truth in the Polymac particle community. I said earlier in the show that Tony and I, we do have the assistant, thank God, of Don Peralta with all the imagery and the artwork. He's been our art director since the jump, really. But Tony and I are handling everything else. Now, one other thing we're working on, and again, trust me, we're getting there, is that we want to start reintroducing song parodies and song tributes to the show. And we will. We're getting closer to that. But I want to make sure the recordings are good. Like, we can do it now, but it's going to sound like crap, and I want them to sound good. But, Tony, not to be outdone by give us the los. Dude. What would you do if I told you I already have a song idea for our newest sponsor, Dr. Matt Young?
Beautiful.
I do.
Beautiful.
And I feel pretty good about it. I'm not going to lie. The only thing is we got to have a good recording of it. So just know, Dr. Matt Young is going to get his own song. I already have one concocted in my head, and I think it's pretty good.
It's not Dr. Doctor by Thompson Twins?
I'm not going to reveal anything until it hits the airwaves. I'm not going to comment.
It's not like LeBron James, Dr. Van Halen.
I'm not going to comment. By the way, after the game last night, I don't know if you can leave that up there. I love the decorations you got for Dr. Matt Young. After the Laker game last night, somebody said, "What's the future?" or something like that. Like, what's your future in Los Angeles? This is what LeBron James said. He goes, "No comment," and then he talked for like 3 minutes. Then he gave like a 3-minute answer after he said no comment. So I have no comment on Dr. Matt Young, except for the following comments. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tony, I do have the song. It's in my head and it's funny. I think it's funny anyway. And I can't wait to unleash it on everybody because he deserves one, just like Lowe's.
Paulie, is it in any relation to Poison's Open Up and Say Ah?
I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to say another word. You're going to have to wait until the recording is complete. I've got a Warrior song, a playoff tribute song, and I've got a Dr. Matt Young tribute song. Both in my head, both will be unleashed quickly. Yes.
Dude, Ian Weiland, he's the one you call Dr. Teeth Good.
Yeah.
Hey. The one you call Dr. Teeth Good.
Dr. Teeth Good. Dr. Young Dental Group, San Francisco, Post Street, right down there in Union Square. Reach out to him online, info@youngdentalsf.com. You can also give him a shout, 415-392-8611. This guy's been a friend of mine for over a decade. He's been my dentist for over a decade. He's been in business for 25 years. He specializes in implant surgery and implant restorations. By the way, I've had the implant surgery. I've had it. I've done it. I've checked that box. It's good. He actually did a great job with my teeth. My teeth are really messed up, and I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, they tried to tell me, I was about 12, 13 years old. They're like, Paulie Mac, you're going to need braces. You're going to need the Anthony Michael Hall headgear. And I said, no, not doing that. I just flat out said no. And my parents let me get away with that. I was like, I'm not doing it. And then so my teeth grew in all mangled. But then I came cross paths with Dr. Young, and he was like, dude, let me take care of this. You just sit down, relax, listen to your Rolling Stones. Let me do what I do. So that's the beauty of it. And again, I'm not making this up for effect. This is true. I was a very, very uptight guy when I used to go to the dentist office. It just made me uncomfortable. Yeah. Dr. Matt Young put me at ease so fast. And that's my biggest message to you guys. He can, not only does he do tremendous work, he will make you very, very comfortable. If you're uptight like me and you got dental anxiety issues, I don't anymore. Now I kind of look forward to going in and hanging out. I'm like, yeah, what's up, Doc Young? Let's hang. And we talk Giants. Nice. He loves baseball. He's got a kid going to SI in the fall. He's one of us, man. He's just a super cool guy and an incredibly talented dentist. In fact, Dr. Matt Young is the president of the American Academy of Implant Dentistry right there. He's the president. And also he accepts most major insurances. And again, if you're looking for a positive, easy, relaxing experience with great results, Dr. Matt Young is your guy. Give him a shout in Union Square, and you're going to see, trust me, you're going to see why he's so great. Tony, your thoughts, and then we're going to say goodbye on a Thursday.
890 Post Street, Paulie, Suite. I'm sorry, 490 Post Street, Suite 830. 490 Post Street in Union Square. Also, 415-392-8611. 415-392 John Frank, Alex Smith. And if you want to email them, info@youngdentalsf.com. And the beauty of this is they're open on Saturdays too, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's actually a huge thing for me because my weekdays are always so freaking full of, So, and also just last thing, Paulie, is that we're all of our sponsorships, our partnerships, they're all about the vibe.
Yeah.
They're all about the vibe. And Dr. Young and his staff will create a vibe for you. So again, it's like what I was talking about with Lowe's, where you don't loathe going to these things, right? No. And they make them something that you're not throwing a party that you're going to the dentist, but you actually are you don't loathe going to, you don't dread going to it. That's Dr. Young. He makes it an enjoyable experience. So get to Dr. Young if you need some dental work. The Young Dental Group in SF, again, 415-392-8611.
Great guy, does great work. He's going to put you at ease immediately. Reach out to him. And again, you'll see why. You're going to see why I vouch for this guy in every conceivable way. Family man, great dentist, does great work, reasonable prices with the all major or most major insurances being accepted. Tony.
And last thing, Paulie, you mentioned, I think I got your Halloween costume set for you. It's an easy one for you. I think because you mentioned headgear and you mentioned Anthony Michael Hall with the headgear.
Yeah.
Dude, all you need to do is shave your face to get rid of the beard for a night, put on some old headgear, and you could be Anthony Michael Hall.
I do that for fun. I do that for just when I'm hanging out. I throw the headgear on just for kicks. But you know what though? It's not a bad idea, dude. How about this? What if I threw the Anthony Michael Hall headgear on? Because in that dance scene in 16 Candles, he's just wearing a dress shirt. He's wearing an oversized dress shirt.
It's a yellow dress shirt, long sleeve dress shirt.
I'll rock the Anthony Michael Hall headgear dress shirt if and only if you will rock the Joan Cusack neck brace because she's got the neck brace and she's got the headgear too. She's going headgear, neck brace, dude, on the bus. I'm just throwing it out there. You got Farmer Ted, and I want you to be Joan Cusack. As long as you'll agree, I think we got something
done all day.
Okay. Hey, thank you.
Although we did discuss last night, you and I being Ponch and John from Chips for Halloween.
That's tough to beat. Today we talked about Danny Zuko Kaniki. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities out there, man. But the tight slacks of a Poncherello, tough to resist. Let's be honest. I could be John or Ponch. I don't care. Maybe you should be Ponch. You got the darker features. You know what I mean? I'd make a better John. And by the way, Tony, John Baker. You know what I mean? John Baker driving his hog. You know what I mean? Pulling people over. Yeah.
Who was if you can remember his name, that'd be amazing. The police officer in Chips who was more rotund. Do you remember his name? I
don't, but I love where your head's at. I know who you're talking about. They had to have that one token guy who's like a little overweight, busting out of his uniform. Great call, dude. Rotund. Hey, thank you, Dom. Thank you, Ian Weiland, John Joseph, Sanchi, Patty from Napa, Rags. Let's see who else we got here. Rags, or help me out, Tony, with names, because I just want trying to give the proper people the proper love today. And thank you so much.
I'm looking up. Sorry, I was looking up that officer from Chips. I can't find it. His real name is. Stand by, buddy. Stand by. Okay. I know we're gonna wrap up here, but this is worth showing. Paul Link or Paul Linky. I can't remember. There he is. There's the guy.
Yeah, I want to see him.
That's the guy. You can't see that right now?
No.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's not. Oh, shoot. I apologize.
Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, where'd it go? Anyways. Oh, shoot. I had it up there, dude. And where'd it go? Come on.
Got him. Damn, that's my guy. Look at him, all concerned. Yeah, he had the little pot belly going. Sure, look at the wood paneling. Nothing says 1970s like wood paneled walls. Yeah. Everybody had I don't know what that was about. Tony, they had wood paneling on cars in the 70s. You remember the station wagons? The doors would be like wood paneling. I'm like, what? I'm driving around in a log cabin out on 101. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
Shout out the family truckster, man, from the Clark W. Griswold's family truckster had wood paneling. And
Scarlet Fire, Noemi, Mark Graves, Humboldt Fats, all of y'all. HVAC, if I left anybody out, listen, it's not intentional. We love you guys. And by the way, I hope you guys are enjoyed today's show. You have been privy to the longest show in PMP history. Let's give it up. Our Harris Barton show turned out to be the longest one ever. And Tony and I called our shot like Babe Ruth last night. We said, we're going punk rock tomorrow. Enough of this 1 hour horse ass. We got to stretch this thing out because we got a lot to talk about. Excuse me, Tony. Let's go have some lunch. It's lunch. Yeah. It's lunch. It's time for lunch. Around the corner is a meatball sandwich shop. Could you get me two? Utah. Get me two. Let's close out on a Utah. Give me two today. Give it to me. Utah. Give me two.
Okay. That's and then.
Tony, as you sounded the outro music for points, what does Gary Busey ask Keanu Reeves to get him to wash down the meatball subs with? What's the drink?
Oh, boy. I don't remember.
Lemonade. Lemonade. 2 meatball subs and a lemonade. Yeah.
You know what's become my go-to drink if I'm not going to have an alcoholic beverage is the freaking Arnold Palmer, dude. I've become an Arnold Palmer head. And so I do nice, refreshing drink. Gives you a little caffeine blast as well from the iced tea. I highly recommend it. And,
lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. If you know, you know. We can talk about that tomorrow. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. Tony likes his Arnold Palmers. All right, you guys, drive safely, Rags, Pine Needle, Patty, Double J, John Joseph. Look at Pinocchio always hanging out. Pinocchio, we need to hang again soon. Monica Lopez, Scarlet Fire. Love all you guys. Have a wonderful Thursday. Enjoy the Knicks game tonight. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for our high noon broadcast. And get ready for Game 6, man. Thank you, Alex Simon, today for stopping by as well. Tony, great job. A lot of fun today. Take your hat with the lightning bolt. And tell your kids I said what up. And give Olivia a big hug if that's her hat. Going to see everybody tomorrow right here on Paulie Max Particles. Thank you and good night, y'all.
Paulie, on the way out, just remind people the musical assignment tomorrow is that it is what is it, Blood Songs, or is it I forget what it is, Blood Songs. But anyway,
Songs of anger, or songs involving blood, as in bad blood. So anger and blood are our themes tomorrow. Guys, dazzle me. Send in your recommendations, and we'll see you on the playlist tomorrow for a high noon broadcast. Cheers, y'all.